Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Rocky Marciano Stadium, where tonight the Brockton Boxers, in their second game of the season, I should say third game of the season, face off against the Xaverian Hawks here at Rocky Marciano Stadium. We just got through the national anthem, Vinnie Macrina and the outstanding marching band for the Brockton Boxers performing. Stay tuned as you see them marching off the field. They will be putting on just an excellent display at halftime, and you don't want to miss that. I'm Bob Sondheim, along with Miles Jackson again tonight, broadcasting this fine matchup. And last year, Miles, when these two teams hooked up, it was really a one-sided affair. From the get-go, and a beautiful day over in Westwood, the Xaverian Hawks just controlled that football game. However, Charlie Stevenson, the 7-year head coach for the Hawks, has been hit by graduation. He's lost some outstanding talent that we'll go into in just a few moments. And Brockton hopes to gain some revenge this evening.
Yes, I'm sure Charlie Stevenson, the coach of Xaverian, is looking boys out here this evening, and they're ready, I'm sure, and ready to go.
Okay, we're having a little bit of difficulty here. Just a second. Miles's microphone is, let's see if it's
Testing,
working.
1, 2.
I think we got you now, Miles.
All right. Yeah, like I said, I think the coach was Xaverian.
Xaverian.
Has prepared his team well this week, and I'm sure coming here to Brockton's den and giving Brockton a good run for their money.
Well, so far in the young season, of course, Brockton with a victory against Springfield Central Catholic on the road, dropping the home opener last week, if you're with us, of course, and a hard-fought game against the Red Raiders in Barnstable by a score of 15-13. And, of course, Charlie Stevenson's first contest for his Hawks, a 7-0 shutout at the hands of Waltham High School. And in that ball game, some very interesting statistics. Only 25 yards on the ground rushing, if you count Schleister's sacks against him by a heavy defensive rush by the Waltham team. And so only 25 yards on the ground is a far different cry than what Stefan Gomes, number 23, put up against the Boxers last week. So that's kind of good in the standpoint that when Xaverian played this team last year, there was a guy by the name of Derek Knight now doing his thing over at BC, along with J.P. Camella, the backfield for this squad. And it was the Derek Knight show, scoring 4 touchdowns, and they just ran Brockton ragged. However, it looks like the running game is lacking so far in the early going.
Well, this will be new for Brockton. As you know, the last 2 games, both teams had big bruising running backs, and they ran the ball quite a bit up the middle, over 80% of the game. So this will be a different feeling for Brockton, as probably so. They'll be putting it up in the air, the visitors.
Well, the name Hasselbeck must ring a bell to you. The Hasselbeck family still has one more kid named Nate Hasselbeck. And, of course, he'll be in uniform today. He'll be wearing number 18 for Xaverian this evening. He'll be going both sides. The senior, his older brother, of course, Tim Hasselbeck, playing for the 2-0 Boston College Eagles as the quarterback of that squad. And also gone was an outstanding lineman, Drew Stroney, who went to Duke University. This kid was a physical specimen, 6'7", about 265 or so, roughly, if I remember correctly. But just one heck of a blocker. And, of course, Derek Knight thanked him very much because he paved the way for Derek Knight's excellent performance against these Boxers last season. Armin Colombo's squad just about ready to come on the football field. The fans still pouring in. We will play 11-minute quarters, 44 minutes of exciting football as the Hawks from Xaverian take on the Brockton Boxers, and the Boxers looking, of course, to get above 500. And again, I guess, and I said to you off camera, I'll say it right on camera, I think good weather follows the two of us around because, again, tonight we have just an absolutely picture-perfect September night for football.
Yes, it is, Bob. And again, since Xaverian is a passing team, this will be a big test for Brockton's secondary to see how they'll stand up to these wide receivers from Xaverian.
The favorite one of which, of course, is the guy I mentioned, Nate Hasselbeck, who caught 6 passes against Waltham last week for 61 yards, a 10.2 average. As you mentioned, Mike Schlittler, I don't want to confuse him with that excellent ball player who never quite made it with the Colts years ago. Mike Schlittler threw the ball 35 times, completed only 12 for 116 yards. And Charlie Stevenson, of course, looking for a little bit better performance from his outstanding Hawk quarterback. As you see the Hawks entering the field dressed in the visiting white with blue trim. And, of course, Schlittler, just an outstanding quarterback, taking over, had a little bit of time playing in the backfield at quarterback last year against Brockton. Tonight, it's his ball game, and of course, look for Hasselbeck to be his favorite receiver. Also, a very multi-purpose kind of back who goes both ways for Stevenson's squad is a guy by the name of Giovanni Benson, one of the great names. I love these great names in sports, and this is one of them. Giovanni Benson also caught 4 passes for 28 yards. He's also going to run the ball. He'll be a flanker. You'll see him carry the ball. He also plays a cornerback position for the Hawks as well. So he's another busy athlete, Giovanni Benson. And you'll look for him tonight as well. And, of course, he wears number 22. So, again, on the flip side, one of the startling statistics from last week has to do with that man right there, number 16, Eric Boatwright, the senior quarterback we spoke so highly of. And we're going to continue to speak highly of this guy because, believe you me, if you were here for St. John's last year, that gentleman right there can throw the football. He only completed 1 pass for -2 yards and had 1 INT against the hard-charging defense of the Red Raiders in the 15-13 setback last week here at Marciano Stadium. You have to look for Eric Boatwright to set things in the right direction tonight.
Yes, Eric is like you said, Eric is a very good quarterback. He's a very heady quarterback, very smart kid. I'm sure he'll bounce back well this evening.
He has to really get some good play. McMurtry, his favorite receiver, was really stymied. Brown was an outstanding defensive back on him last week, really shut him down pretty much one-on-one. To Eric Ellis McMurtry, really has to have a much better performance tonight. I think you're going to see Boatwright and McMurtry hook up tremendously tonight. And also, while I'm on the subject, I thought an excellent ball game last week by Tommy Frazier. Thomas Frazier, number 73, single-handedly in the third quarter really shored up the Brockton defense. And you see him right there along with Boatwright and the other captains going out. Number 73, fine defensive ball game for Frazier. Armand Colombo has to expect more of the same from the big fella tonight.
Yes, Tommy is, like you said, he's a captain, and he stepped up in that third quarter trying to show his underclassmen what it's all about to put it all out in the second half and do what you have to do to win the ball game.
So the stage is set. Miles and I expecting a fine ball game. We hope you fans are in for a good one as well, because when these two teams hook up, I'll tell you, they leave nothing in the locker room, and this one should be no exception.
Electricity in the air, Bob.
Absolutely, and you see the captains at the center of the field meeting with the officials for the traditional coin toss, as Armand Colombo right there, closing in on 300 wins in his outstanding 40-year career. And we're waiting now. Here's the toss of the coin. Good catch by the official. Nearly bobbled it. Now let's see, looks like Xaverian has won the toss. Now Brockton will receive to start the football game. They'll be going from our left to our right. And Xaverian will be going right to left. They will receive the football in the second half. So we're all set. As the teams come out onto the field, I'll tell you, these kids are ready for this one. Xaverian looking for win number 1. Brockton looking to go over 500 to push their record to 2-1. Brockton, of course, in the black with the red and white trim, home uniforms, and I'll tell you, we're ready for it tonight.
Yes, Bob, when you have two teams that lost the week before, usually both teams will come out and give it all they got, because both of them want this win real bad.
So unusual to speak just what you said, that both teams, Brockton and Xaverian, lost the week before.
Unheard of.
Not many times can you say that. In fact, all of last year you couldn't say it for the guys in white. They finished 10-0, winning the Super Bowl, their 4th triumph in the Super Bowl, to my knowledge, beating an outstanding Everett team that is ranked number 1 this year. Everybody, all the experts and pundits expecting big things from the Everett squad, the favorites in the Super Bowl hunt for Division I football. We're all set to go right now, and kicking off for the Brockton Boxers, expect number 15, Eric Ampuja, to be doing the booting, and dropping back deep should be Peter Sheehan, who wears number 2, and Giovanni Benson will wear number 22 for Charlie Stevenson's Xaverian Hawks. And you take a look at Eric Boatwright, waiting to get his first shot on offense, and Brockton, of course, will receive. Excuse me, let me correct myself. Kicking off, of course, will be the Xaverian Hawks, and doing the kicking off will be Kevin Tully, number 31. And back deep will be, look for Brandon Hill and Robert Alexander, 23 and 28 respectively. You see them right there in your set. And we're all set for the action. From the 40-yard line, Tully to boot it away, and Brockton will begin on offense. Well, he checks the line. We're all set. The official blows the whistle. Tully approaches the ball. Here's the kick. Nice over-end kick. Coming down at about the 3-yard line. And tripped up immediately on the play is number 23, Brandon Hill. Short return out to close to the 15. The officials will mark it there. And any time that the special team can hold the other team inside the 20-yard line, they've done their job. And right now the Hawks did theirs.
Yes, they did, Bob. And that's the first time I've seen Brandon Hill only gain a couple yards on the return. So Xaverian did an excellent job on that covering of the kickoff. About
12 or 13 on the return, Miles. Brockton will start it straight up on the 15-yard line. As is traditionally the case, Boatwright will wear out the path to the sidelines, talking to Armin Colombo, who takes a stroll down towards the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for Brockton from their own 15. They'll work out of the eye. Jackson, the deep man. Handoff goes to the up man this time. Actually, sorry, the fake, and it went to Jackson. Very little gain on that play. It's going to be 2nd down and long. Looks like Josh Lamar in the backfield, if my eyes serve me correctly. We have an offside call against the Hawks, so Brockton will certainly receive this.
The Hawks a little jumpy right from the start.
Now let me set the offense here if I can. I'm taking a look at a number change possibly. That was Jackson on the last carry. He canceled that on the 5-yard walk-off, so it's 1st and 5. Millard now in the backfield is the up man. Jackson is the deep man again. Brockton out of the eye. A shift on the defensive line. We have a jump both ways. And it looks like it might possibly be on Brockton. Both men jumped into the neutral zone. Let's see which way the officials call it. Jeff Pike a little bit antsy that time. But they're going to walk it off first against the Hawks before Pike's move. So 1st down on 2 5-yard walk-offs, and Brockton has the ball 1st and 10 out of the 25-yard line. That's one way to do it.
Yes, Bob, I'm sure Xaverian's defensive coach isn't too happy right now with his defensive line.
Well, both teams a little jumpy. It's early on in the season as well as the game. We're just underway, playing 30 seconds. 2 5-yard walk-offs or offsides on the Hawks. 1st and 10 for the Boxers, again out of the eye. McMurtry and Gardner split up top. Handoff goes to Jackson. Not much there for Jackson. He shut down for a little gain. In fact, the loss on the play. And head manning the tackle in there, it looks like number 40, Mike Malvati. Now, I should mention, too, that the Xaverian Hawks on defense work out of a 4-4-3. Let me correct this, Mike Malvesti, number 40, and he comes out of his outside linebacker position on the right side. 4-4-3 means they have 2 defensive ends, 2 defensive tackles, and 4 linebackers, 2 inside, 2 outside, as well as a cornerback, 2 quarterbacks and a safety. And that time, storming the right side, Malvesti throws the runner down for actually a loss of about a half a yard, 2nd and long. Nearly a jump on the right side. Boatwright to air it out. He lets it go. He's got a man and just overthrown down to the left side, looking for Robert Alexander, the intended receiver, number 28 on single coverage.
Yes, Bob, if you want to look at something good out of that play, Robert Alexander was, he had 1 or 2 steps on the defender. So you know Robert has some speed. And
you also know that Armin Colombo is going to come back to that play sometime tonight. So pass just barely overthrown. I'm telling you, I'm very impressed with Boatwright. He's going to get it done, and he's going to unwind, and he almost hooked up right there with Alexander, and that could have been a home run. Instead, we have a 3rd down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Split the backs behind the senior quarterback. Playing it straight up as Xaverian. Here's a heavy rush. Boatwright fighting to get away, does so, and he gets away. He's about 5-6 yards, now being hounded down, and his forward progress is stopped short of the 1st down. Great job by Boatwright to get away from a heavy onslaught by the Hawk defense, but he's going to be short of the 1st down by about 6 yards. It'll bring up a punting situation for the Boxers.
Yes, Mr. Boatwright, as you can see on the instant replay, made something out of nothing, made an excellent effort to get back about to the line of scrimmage.
Well, I tell you, the Hawks just came out like they knew the cadence as well as the Brockton offense. You see Boatwright slipping around, a lot of missed tackles. Finally, the tackle made in there by number 24, Greg Hamilton. It's kick time for the Boxers, and Archie Johnson, number 11, in to do that. Actually, it's going to be Boatwright. So Boatwright is going to be the change. Kicks it high end over end. Down to the 45, the 50 picked up. The Hawk on his way. And finally wrestled down by Boatwright, the last man. That was number 18, Nate Hasselbeck, with a tremendous catch at the 45-yard line. Finally knocked down, but not until he brings it all the way inside the 25 to about the 22. So on that play, a return of about 33 yards on the Boatwright punt by Nate Hasselbeck. And I'll tell you, that Hawk was really moving. And if it wasn't for Boatwright's tackle, it would have been 6-0 by another special team play. Schlittler brings them out. He wears number 11, Mike Schlittler. Peter Sheehan will be in the backfield. Jason Delizia, number 44 as well. Sheehan in motion. And also Giovanni Benson as they work out of the I and turn. Long count by Schlittler. Nearly had the Brockton defense off. Benson gets the call. Brockton has him strung out, but not before a gain on the play of about 4 yards or so around the right side by number 22, Giovanni Benson.
Yes, good strong run by Benson there. He carried a couple of tackles just to get those few yards that he did.
Now they're going to give him 3 yards on the play. Just over 8 minutes to go here in a scoreless first quarter of play. Glad you could be with us. BCA football game of the week under a beautiful full moon here at Marciano Stadium. Sheehan will go in motion. They'll split Benson this time, flanked out to the left side. Man in the backfield is Delizia. Long count again by Schlittler. Very long count. Does get the play off. The handoff, and Pike wraps up the ball carrier, and the knee goes down. Nice play, Jeff Pike. Nice open one-on-one tackle by number 66 as he shuts down big Jason Delizia.
Yes, Bob, that was 2 big guys going at it right there at the line. Your halfback or fullback and big Jeff Pike. He was right on that. He didn't give up. He stayed right with him.
A few corrections here. I believe it's Delizia. Delizia is how you say his name. Not an easy one for us broadcasters, but Delizia knocked down by the shorter version, Jeff Pike. Easier to say, and an easy tackle by the big guy, number 66. Third down situation, loss of 1 on the play, called 3rd and 8. Schlittler looks it over. 2 men flanked out to the right side. Again out of the eye, the up man again, and there is Pike for another fine defensive play by the big senior, number 66.
Yeah, big Jeff Pike sniffed that one out again. Right there at the line of scrimmage. Actually, it looked like he had him behind the line of scrimmage.
Very unusual call. I was kind of looking for a play-action situation, especially by a quarterback who likes to air out the football. Remember, he threw the ball 35 times in the game last week in the loss against Waltham. And you have to be looking for a pass here on a 4th down and 8 situation. The ball resting at the Brockton 20-yard line.
But I think Xaverian is just checking out Brockton's defensive line to see where they stand as far as the run goes.
The guy you have to watch is number 18, flanked down, right down on the left side here. That's Nate Hasselbeck, the favorite receiver. Schlittler does go back. He'll go right side this time, and the pass underthrown, and the ball will go over to the Boxers on downs. On a poorly thrown pass by Schlittler, frankly, had no rush by the Brockton Boxers, just simply underthrew his intended receiver.
Yeah, he might have been a little rusty, that being his first pass of the evening. So we'll give him that.
Well, we'll give him that much. The intended receiver, Peter Sheehan, number 2. The pass incomplete on 4th down. As I mentioned, Eric Boatwright will take the offense back out, and Brockton will try to get it going here. As you see, quarterback and coach, Eric Boatwright. If you're with us last week talking about his outstanding stature, 6'4", 220 pounds, a senior. And he's looking to get things going this week. Nearly had Robert Alexander on one-on-one coverage in the last series of downs. Brockton takes it over right at their 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Millard is the up man, and Jackson is deep, out of the eye. Fake, and the handoff to Jackson, big hole up the middle. He's got the 1st down and more, 30-35, and pushes his way over to the 36-yard line. A nice 16-yard pickup by number 20.
Excellent play fake there. They faked it to the first back and gave it to Jackson, who went right up the middle. Here's the instant replay.
And you saw the fake right there. Nice cutback and scooting through, just making tacklers miss. And there's the power of Jackson as he drags a tackler or 2 for another 4 or 5 yards.
Yes, James is a very strong runner for his size.
He has to play that way throughout the whole game and get enough carries, too. And look for a lot from James Jackson. Brockton will look at the full house backfield for a moment there. Now we have confusion. Matt Gardner calls a timeout. Not often do you see Brockton ever come out in a full house backfield. You can see instant confusion, and Brockton will call a 20-second timeout. For those of you who weren't with us last week, one rule change that I learned, as well as a lot of you if you're with us, was that you still have 5 timeouts. The difference is you don't have 5 full timeouts. You have 3 fulls and 2 20-second timeouts, and Brockton elected to call one of those 20-second timeouts because of the confusion in the offensive set. So again, Eric Boatwright, and there's our full moon, Miles.
It's a beautiful night here in Brockton, as you know. A lot of electricity here with the Ryder Cup right down the road.
Oh boy. And if you haven't heard about the Ryder Cup by now, then you have probably been on the planet Xenon somewhere because of all the coverage that's gotten. I almost came here with my clubs tonight. Here's a first down play after the nice run by Jackson. The pitch to Jackson, gets outside nicely. And can he turn the corner? There's some great pursuit over there. The tackle that missed him the first time was Mike Movesti. I don't know if we have this again, Steve Roy, our director, but you're going to see a great second effort by Movesti. Watch this. Watch this whole play, folks. Jackson's going to get the ball on the pitch, and Movesti had him dead to rights, missed the tackle, but still came back with a good second effort to make the tackle. And there it is. Now watch number 40. He's not finished yet. As Jackson makes up his mind with a little jitterbug, watch who makes the tackle coming into your picture right there. That's good athleticism right there by number 40. That's what coaches like to see. Pick up on the play of about 7 yards, almost 8 yards by Jackson on the pitch, second and short. Short handoff, Millard spins his way first down. He wants more. He brings the ball nearly to midfield, finally gang tackled at about the 48-yard line. First and 10 Boxers.
Yes, Mr. Millard, he kind of spun his way around for that first down. Excellent effort. He got the ball, went straight ahead.
Good choice of calls that time to give it to the bruising guy, Mark Millard. Small for a fullback, certainly not small as far as toughness. 5'10", 205 pounds for the senior, number 45. Picks up the first down. They'll mark it at the 48-yard line. So the Boxers trying to draw first blood against the Hawks. Right down below us here at the 48, first and 10. Keeping it on the ground and getting it done. Fake to both men. Roll out Boatwright. Has a man open, wide open, and complete down there. And still on his feet. Finally, he's going to score. Taking it in for the touchdown is Jamal Garrison, number 85. What a move by Garrison. I thought he was going to be knocked out of bounds. He hurdles the tackler and goes in for the score from 52 yards out. The touchdown, as you see Garrison. Take another look right here. The double fake, keeping the ball on the hip as our camera was faked out on that play. Boatwright with a wide open Garrison just flips the ball. Garrison nearly dropped it, but maintains control. Now watch this, almost the block from behind, hurdles the tackler. I thought he was going out right here, but he maintained the balance, tiptoeing along the sidelines and takes it in for the 52-yard touchdown.
Yeah, Jamal had fancy feet there. Very light on his feet. Excellent
Tremendous
job.
balance. So Brockton for the point after, and Puja will try to make it 7-0. The kick is up, and the kick is good. With 4 minutes to go in the first quarter of play, a 52-yard hookup. Garrison from Boatwright gives the Brockton Boxers the early lead in this football game, and Puja with a point after touchdown. And the teams come back up the field before a happy house here at Marciano Stadium.
Yes, Bob, you have to give Mr. Boatwright credit for putting the right touch on that ball, and you have to give Mr. Garrison credit for holding on to the ball and then do a little 1-2 step down the sideline.
I don't know if we have it again, Steve. While we have a momentary break in the action, maybe we can take another look at that touchdown. What a great pass and a great fake and good room. And you see how valuable it is to have a quarterback with the mobility of a guy like Boatwright. He's a big guy, but he could move for a big guy. And just like it is in the NFL and college, the days of the drop-back passer and who freezes in place is just about over when you have this kind of weapon, as you see number 16 rolling out. Look at the time he has, and throwing nicely on the run, hooks up with Garrison, who nearly dropped this ball. Now watch what Garrison does as he gets the ball at about the 37-yard line. Now at the 30, almost a block in the back right there. Lucky no call as we're back to live action. Coming up on the ball is Peter Sheehan, and Sheehan was nearly gone as he exploits a hole in the Brockton defense and takes it out to about the 38-yard line, where the Hawks will go on offense for the second time tonight, trailing in this ball game 7-zip. Nice run back by Sheehan with a full gallop. Took that ball with a full head of steam.
And he just about broke it through for a big gainer on that one. Luckily, a few of our Brockton guys got their arms around him to bring him down.
Now let's see what the Brockton Boxers do on defense. And let's see what Charlie Stevenson and company call on offense here, as the Hawks find themselves trailing in this game, something that they didn't worry about last year in the big rout against the Boxers in Westwood. Handoff, pitch out goes to Benson, tries to turn the corner, is finally knocked out of bounds. Looks like Matt Gardner, number 26, knocked out the very talented Giovanni Benson. And of course, Giovanni Benson ran the ball 4 times last week for a whole 8 yards. So Stevenson's squad just didn't get it done on the ground. Everybody knows that Schlittler can throw the ball. The question is, can they balance the offense? They only had 136 yards total offense, and that was all done mostly in the air. So pickup of 5, call it 2nd and 5 for the Hawks. As they shift the offense around, Sheehan will flank down this way, Hasselbeck up top. Benson out of the flanker slot, and Dilicia, and Benson with the catch, with the carry, and Millard with the stick. Just like that, number 45, an outstanding defensive player from last year. And I'll tell you, that was Mark Millard saying hello and welcome to Brockton.
Yes, indeed, Bob. You can see Xaverian doing a lot of shifting there. Fortunately, Brockton's linebackers and linemen aren't paying attention too much to a lot of that shifting inside. A lot of it's for show. And who was it? Number 66, Pike?
No, it was Millard.
Millard, okay, number 45. Was right on that play.
Millard with a good shiver. All the shifting and everything, but Stevenson still staying very very conservative, almost like a boxer feeling out his opponent in the early rounds. So Sheehan up top, Hasselbeck down low. On a 3rd down situation, actually 6 yards to go, quick pass, and it's dropped by Sheehan, who can't believe it. He had a 1st down near midfield, and this is going to be kick time for Stevenson.
I tell you, Bob, on that play, Anthony Montero, number 35, was right in front of that pass. If he would have grabbed the hold of that, he was gone for a touchdown.
Well, I'll tell you, Schlittler, to his credit, just really drilled that
ball. Drilled it right in there. Yes, he did.
Absolutely. Brandon Hill will be back in single coverage for the Boxers, up in this ball game by a score of 7-0. And going back and doing the punting, look for Nate Hasselbeck, number 18. That's who it is. So single coverage as Hasselbeck gets it away. Brandon Hill will have a chance to field this one. A booming kick back to about the 10. Gets a block, has it out to the 20, and finally stormed under there. About a good 10-yard return by Hill, but a tough 10 yards and an important one for the Boxers.
Yes, Brandon's such a crafty runner. You never know when he's going to break it wide open, which he's already done this year in this early part of the season.
Nice kick that time by Nate Hasselbeck, a good 35, 40 yards in the air, finally returned, and out to about the 21, so nearly the same start for the Brockton Boxers that they turned into a touchdown. Armin Colombo, 40th year in coaching. Boy, that's just unbelievable. His son Peter, you got to look at too. Right down near him on the sideline, staying close. And here come the Boxers up by a touchdown, looking for more. Important the Boxers get out to a good lead so they can get some breathing room, if that's possible, against a tough Xaverian squad. Handed off to Jackson. Jackson goes off left side, has a tackler dragging on his shoulder, and he's going to get little, if any, gain on the left side.
Yeah, very, very good containment by the defense there on that one. Jackson barely got anything on that run.
Brockton
right
front line, the center, Joe Verdon, 76 senior. Jeff Pike, right side guard, 66. Shane Bester, 75, the right tackle. Brandon Leach, number 72, the junior, left guard. And Tommy Frazier played so well defensively. Also offensively, a tough customer, number 73. The front guys in the trenches for the Boxers tonight. 2:14 in the clock running, and a 2nd down situation. Call it 2nd and about 9.5. The fakes again, heavy rush. This time Boatwright's not going to get away. And leading the charge down there, big number 62, Derek Anderson with the tackle. And Anderson just broke away from his man. No place to go for the senior quarterback.
Yes, Bob, there was definite breakdown in blocking assignment there, as Boatwright didn't have a chance on that play at all.
Loss of about 12 on that play, brings it back inside the 10 to about the 9. So it'll be a third down situation, third and eternity for Boatwright. So let's see what Armin Colombo calls right here. Brockton has to be very careful because they don't want to make the mistake that can tie this football game up. And yet, they do have the ability with the arm of a guy like Boatwright to put it out there and pick up a first down and a lot more. Let's see if they stay conservative and try to get some room for their kicker, or will they put it up? Third down and long. They'll put it up. Boatwright is going to load it up. He's got a man out here, and the pass broken up nicely on one-on-one coverage. Intended receiver. Now, do we have a change of... Darrell Cousins is the name, activated today, number 87.
Excellent coverage on the defensive back, Benson, number 22. He stayed right with the receiver and made an excellent play to block that ball down, bat it down. Here it is on instant replay. Benson is right in there.
That's a great play by Benson right there. Good one-on-one coverage, good football. Nearly the catch by Cousins activated today. We understand he wasn't on our program. Thank you, Tom Gillespie, for filling in that information. And Boatwright again. Oh, we're going to have a flag first. Let's see what the marker's going to be. Marker dropped in the backfield just as Boatwright was set to go. 12 men on the field, I believe, is going to be the call. 12 men on the field is the call. 5-yard mark off. Will not change the decision, of course, by Brockton. They will be kicking. However, Boatwright will have a little bit more breathing room instead of lining up inside his end zone.
You're definitely right, Bob.
So Boatwright, instead of being in the end zone, will have the tremendous advantage of being out at about the 3. He'll kick from about his 5 or 6 yard line. Hasselbeck deep. Nice kick by Boatwright under the circumstances. The ball bouncing, no return here, and it takes a hawk bounce inside Brockton territory to about the 38-yard line. So tremendous field position as the Hawks defense giving their offense an excellent chance to try and tie this game up.
Definitely so, Bob. Xaverian's going to have to come out and try and put 3 points or 7 points on the board in order for them to feel good about themselves at the end of this first quarter.
Well, the defense certainly has to feel very good as they shut down Brockton from going up by 2 scores. Excellent position now for the Hawks. They take it over in the Brockton 38-yard line. Mike Schlittler, the quarterback, number 11, leading them out. You see the jitterbugging offensively that has gone on continuously. Hasselbeck up top, Sheehan down low as they look for the matchups, try and free up the receivers. Handoff up the middle. And that's going to go up to about the 35 for a gain of 3 yards. Jason Dilatizia, I got to get this right. Dilatizia. I want to say Delitzia, but it's Dilatizia. And he brings the ball up for about a gain of 3. Call it 2nd and 7.
Yeah, big number 73. Thomas Frazier came off the last one to come off that pile there. He's a big guy, 6'1", 260 pounds.
And he moves very well for a big fella, too. This is likely to be the last play if they keep it on the ground, certainly here in the first quarter from Marciano Stadium. Schlittler waits for the dancing to stop. He's got Hasselbeck up top, Sheehan down below. Let's see if they put it up here. Brockton has held the ground game to next to nothing. This time Schlittler still has it, steps around, closing in on the markers, got the first down as he brings the ball inside the 30. Let's see where they are going to put it down. Has the first down, had to get to the 28, so he has it with a couple yards to spare, down at about the 27. That's going to do it here with that run for the first down by Schlittler. That's going to do it in a first quarter that saw a 52-yard hookup between Boatwright and Jamal Garrison. A tremendous touchdown, the only scoring, and Puja adding the extra point, and we stand at 7-0 in favor of the Brockton Boxers.
Yes, Bob. Again, that was an excellent run by the quarterback for Xaverian there. Kind of tiptoed his way there, broke a few tackles. He looked like a pretty good scrambler.
Well, I thought he was out of bounds any number of times, but I'll tell you, the officials had the good look. It was hard for us to tell and very difficult for us to tell even with the instant replay because it's just so much you can get in your camera at that time. But some great moves by Garrison, and he takes it in all the way after receiving the ball at the 37-yard line, takes it in the balance, and a nice hookup. And a good thing, too, for Boatwright and his confidence after coming off a sour game last week where he threw for actually negative yardage, which is something no one would dream of. He starts off with the first touchdown through the air, good for 52 yards.
You're so right, Bob. It's so important that he got that confidence builder in early of the game. So hopefully things will go smoothly for him throughout this game.
Right now the concentration has to be on the Brockton defense, Miles, because they're being tested after the Schlittler run on a second down and long. As we start the second quarter of play, the Boxers come out. They'll be facing a first down situation against them, the ball being marked down at the 26-yard line. So it's time for the Boxers to try and step up defensively if they want to hold on to the lead in this young football game. As you see, one of the Brockton young supporters, good crowd on hand. I don't think quite as large as last week, but still a lot of supporters out here on a great September night for football. Xaverian in town 0-1 against the Brockton Boxers, 1-1 on the young season. Officials have a timeout called by Brockton, I believe. Yes, they do. So Brockton calls the timeout. This is a full timeout, I believe. They had one 22nd one called earlier.
Yes, Brockton might not have liked what they saw around the offense of Xaverian High School. So they're checking their assignments with Coach Colombo.
That was Robert Alexander you saw, number 28. And he goes over for another tete-a-tete. Mark Millard over there as well. Boy, Mark Millard, what a shiver he put on the ball carrier from Xaverian a few moments ago in the first quarter of play. Some good hitting down in that football field, as you would expect when these two teams get together.
Yes, Mark's a hitter. He loves to hit. That's his whole idea about football, is hitting people.
And he had a great year last year. And one of the high points, I think, was his game out at Leominster, a game that I was happy to cover. Many miles from home, but boy, the Brockton kids came to play that night. Schlittler goes back, heavy rush. Good time, Ford has got a man, and the pass is going to be complete, I believe. Touchdown it is. It was deflected. Great concentration. I believe it's Peter Sheehan. Yes, it is. It looks like Matt Gardner actually tipped that ball, but great concentration by Sheehan to nail it in the corner of the end zone. Here it is again, Miles.
Yeah, great defensive play, but unfortunately, it was a great offensive rebound there as he caught the pass.
Great play by Gardner. Look at the concentration by Sheehan.
Excellent.
And yes, he just has to have one foot in. That's what he had. A good call by the official, and it is 7-6. Nice air out that time in turn by quarterback Schlittler for the Hawks as they try and tie it up.
Yes, Matt Gardner, he did get turned around a little bit on that play, as you saw in the instant replay.
The hold will be by Schlittler, and Kevin Tully, number 31, to try and knot us at 7. The kick is up, and the kick is perfect. And we are knotted up one play into the second quarter, so after the Brockton timeout, for what they didn't like, they couldn't like this much better, as Tully has tied the game up after a tremendous touchdown reception. Very similar types of plays, this one not as far out, but excellent plays by the receivers in addition to some nice passing by each of the quarterbacks.
Definitely so, Bob. Again, it's unfortunate for Matt. He got turned around. He was able to come back and rebound from getting turned around, but unfortunately, the way his body was turned, the only thing he could do was put his hands up in desperation. He did bat the ball, unfortunately, over towards the receiver, and he made, as you say, an excellent what's
catch.
the word? Excellent catch. Yeah. Concentration. He was concentrating on that one.
And that's so tough. And he didn't have much real estate to work with either, Miles.
No, he
that's
didn't.
The thing. But he still had the presence of mind not only to catch the football, but to know where his feet were to get him in bounds. So we are tied at 7. And it looks like we might have another hot one for you tonight. If you're with us last week, 13-13 until the safety decided the outcome of the ball game in favor of Barnstable. This week, when these two teams hook up, you know it's going to be a war. So Brockton will send Alexander back deep along with Brandon Hill, 28 and 23. Tully booms this one, not quite as long, heading towards the sideline. Hill moves as Alexander moves up, has a seam, and he brings the ball smartly out over the 35-yard line for some good field position. Nice return, Robert Alexander, on a short kickoff that time by Kevin Tully.
Yes, Robert is a very quick back. He scooted right up the middle there for excellent gain.
So Alexander's nice run. The senior brings the ball out to the 35-yard line. Boatwright, after his tete-a-tete with head coach Armin Colombo, will start the offense. We are tied at 7, 10:43 to go in the second quarter of play. Now let's see what Boatwright will do. We'll split the backfield behind him with Millard along with Jackson. It'll go straight back to pass. Heavy rush. Nice dump off this time. Jackson with a block, 40, and it finally dragged down after a gain of about 5 yards on the play. Nice call that time, absorbing the rush, dumping the ball off on the screen to number 20, James Jackson, for 5.
Yes, and Dave Nelson, number 32, made an excellent play there to save more yardage that Jackson was about to gain on that play. Excellent play by the linebacker, number 32.
Nice rush, Ken Gunther, number 6. And I'll tell you, these kids defensively from the Xaverian Hawks, that time the defensive end right side, unusual number, the number 6 nonetheless. Ken Gunther with an all-out clear path en route to quarterback Boatwright and nearly throwing the big fella for a loss. Nice dump off on the screen to pick up 5. Second down and 5. And Brockton out of the eye. Boatwright hands it to the up man this time. Millard plunges ahead. He's very close to the first down depending on the spot, as that ball tickling the 45-yard line where he has to get for the first down.
Excellent job by Millard to go straight ahead with all his power and gets a first down. Excellent effort by Millard.
That nose of the ball marking the forward progress over the 45. Good for the first down, as you mentioned. Start the clock as we're just a shade under 9.5 minutes to go. Both teams with 2 touchdowns through the air, though doing most of the work on the ground. Brockton hoping to sustain a nice offensive drive, take the lead, and kill off some clock before halftime. Showing blitz, here they come. Heavy rush, Boatwright with the good legs going outside. Now unleashes, has a man good down on the sideline. Complete down there. That's number 21, Ellis McMurtry, and as we promised you, it's just a matter of time that these two hook up. What a nice pass on the run, and you see arm strength personified right there.
Here we got it on the instant replay, Bob.
Watch this play. Now there's the legs to get you outside away from the rush, and on the run, look at that spiral, sports fans, and he has a man wide open. McMurtry catches the ball deep in Hawk territory. They're going to mark it down at the 15 after all is said and done, and McMurtry is pushed out of bounds.
Yes, Bob, number 22, the defensive back, made a big mistake by coming in a little bit for whatever reason known, and he paid the price for it.
I don't think they really thought that Boatwright could air the ball out that deeply, and not only could he, but with some pizzazz on a spiral on that one. Handoff, nice delay to Jackson, tries to get outside. Good play by the defense of Stevenson's Hawks not to be fooled on the trap block that time, and very little gain, maybe a couple yards at best for Jackson. It'll be second and long.
That was an excellent play by the defense, considering the big play before that. Very good heady play by the defense to get their thoughts together and make that great defensive play there.
So second down situation. Boatwright has his play from Armin Colombo, who paces the sidelines, waiting for his charges to try and take the lead here at home for the second time. Millard, the up man, Jackson deep on 2nd and 8. Muff this time, and trouble all the way on that play as Millard and Boatwright collided. It looked like it was going to be a fake, I think, to Millard, and a rolling left that time, and no place to go with no blocking was Boatwright, who gets shut down after maybe a gain of a yard at best. It's going to be 3rd and 7 or 8.
Considering the muff play, Bob, they did good to get a yard on that play, as you said. A little collision there with the quarterback and running back right at the set.
Well, we're talking red zone here, and possible 2 plays unless you're talking field goals. So it looks like Armin Colombo's squad will have 2 shots on offense to pick up the first down. 3rd down, we'll call it 8. Quick pass, Boatwright on the look-in variety is incomplete, looking for McMurtry. Threw into some traffic, good double coverage that time on 21, and the pass incomplete.
Yeah, Eric tried to thread the needle there, but it was good defensive coverage, as you said, on that play.
Good defense by the secondary, the Hawks, as they stiffen. 4th down situation. If they were to try the field goal, you have to look for Eric Ampuja, and there he is. So number 15 enters the ball game. He'll put the tee down at about the 20. This will make it a 30-yard field goal try. First one of the year for Impuja, we believe. He has the foot. The snap, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Impuja has hit from 30 yards out to give the Boxers the lead once again at 10-7.
Yeah, give James Thompson a hand for holding that ball steady.
Right you are. He wears number 10. He was doing the holding. The senior put the ball down, and number 15, Eric Impuja, does the rest as he boots it right through, and he jumps up and down for joy as he knew that ball was through the uprights. The officials concur, and it's Brockton 10-7.
It has to be a good feeling for the kicker to have a senior down there holding the ball for him.
Absolutely. And a look there at number 75, Shane Bester. Armin Colombo a little bit unhappy, probably still talking about that collision between Boatwright and Millard, undoubtedly, on the big play. Second down play that he was hoping for more. However, when all is said and done, he's happy with that kid, Eric Impuja, who has given the Brockton Boxers the lead. Eric, a junior, good from 30 yards out. 7:18 to go before intermission. And again, a reminder at intermission, you want to stick around. Vinny Macrina, the band director, and his wonderful band. And we were treated to a great show last week. Your Grand Old Flag 1, and a few other numbers as well. A lot of very good tunes that you know, played so eloquently by the Brockton Marching Band. You want to stick around for the entertainment. Right now, Impuja tees it up at the 40, kicks it away, and this will be Giovanni Benson. Back at the 10, has a head of steam outside 30. He's at the 40. One man to beat is Impuja, who pushes him out of bounds. A great play by the kicker near midfield. Otherwise, Benson was coast to coast for a Xaverian lead. Instead, excellent field position and great speed that time by that man, Giovanni Benson.
You have to give the special teams credit for putting a lot of the boxes on the ground on that play. A lot of them were blocked right to the ground, and basically he was untouched, as you see on the replay here.
Now watch the lanes too, Miles. Tremendous speed by Benson to create a lot of this, but as you mentioned, watch what the blocking does up front and how wide open right there. Look at how the real estate just opens up. Here's Impuja. You know, they make fun of these kickers that they don't get into the action. If it wasn't for Impuja, you're looking 6 points for the Hawks. From the 48 down below. And the big guy, number 44, one more time. And he stopped for a little gain on that play. Dilatizia, Jason Dilatizia. He'll get a yard in the play, call it 2nd and 9. Clock rolls along as we are under 7 minutes, down to about 6:43. Hugging the 49-yard line, 1 yard by the big fella. You have to look for Schlittler to put the ball up. Author of the touchdown, Schlittler looks off his man, now throws to the left side, short gain on the play. That was Hasselbeck, number 18. He faked to Sheehan, number 2, and went to Hasselbeck up top, number 18. Pickup on the play, really, of about 4 yards. Well, let's see where they mark it. Yeah, about 4 yards on the play. It'll be a 3rd down and 5 situation upcoming for the Hawks.
Yes, you called it right, Bob, on that play there that Xaverian had to pass. They see what they have as far as running and passing goes. So Brockton's defense definitely has to tighten up.
In the ball game also is Kent Gunther, number 6. He's flanked out wide down here to the right side. Hasselbeck up tops. They line up Sheehan in the backfield. Here comes Schlittler with a whole host of people to throw to. His pass incomplete. Dilatizia, the intended receiver. And that pass incomplete. It's going to bring up a 4th down situation. So again, it seems like Charlie Stevenson kind of hangs the whole offensive thread on one pass, and when it fails, your drive is done.
So true, Bob.
And another big 3rd down conversion, not converted by the Hawks. They've had 3 or 4 different instances, at least 3 that I can remember, where the passes just have gone awry. This one, no exception. Dilatizia may have had that ball. I don't know if he would have had enough for the 1st down in any event. Hasselbeck will kick. Back deep again in single coverage is Brandon Hill, number 23. Hasselbeck got off about a 38-yarder last time. This one not quite as good, and there will be no return because of some excellent downfield coverage by the Hawks special teams, including the speedster Giovanni Benson, 22.
Yes, anytime you can get that ball, the punter can get the ball inside the 15-yard line, it's definitely an excellent job without the returner returning it. Excellent job by the punter.
Well, it's very close. I'll tell you, they're going to mark it down just outside the 15-yard line. So as you mentioned, a job well done. And no return by the Speedy Hill. And they wanted to keep the ball away from number 23's hands, you can be sure. So they're going to mark it right at the 15. I stand corrected, and you are right. You know, I made reference last week, one correction. You take a look at some of the crowd. I mentioned in our opening broadcast here that St. John's had defeated Xaverian, and I was corrected tonight. Indeed, they did, but it was Xaverian from New York State, not this Xaverian team. So I was a little bit surprised not only that they played so soon in the year, but with the score. Delayed handoff is not going to get much. Right about at the line of scrimmage is James Jackson being met very hard. That time by, it looks like Nick Rossini, number 57, leading the charge for the defense of the Hawks. Maybe a gain of a couple yards at best. They'll call it 2nd and 9. Give them 1 yard, 5.5 to go. But just to get back to that, I think the score was something like 35-8. But it was St. John's Prep of Danvers knocking off a Xaverian team out of New York State. So I thought these kids came into the game 0-2. Instead, Charlie Stevenson's squad losing last week in their opener 7-0 to Waltham. So that's their blemish to start the season. They entered this game 0-1. So I just want to correct that. Brockton out of the eye, nearly a jump on defense. The handoff to Jackson, tries to turn the corner again. And I'll tell you have to be very impressed so far as Jackson, a little bit frustrated, throws Hasselbeck to the ground. Have to be very impressed, Miles, with the lateral pursuit of this Hawk defense.
Yes, I'm very impressed with this Hawk defense. The Boxer offense hasn't really gotten going on the ground at all yet. So the Hawks defense has done their job so far this evening.
Both ground attacks really held in check so far. We kind of knew that Stevenson did not enjoy the best Hawk afternoon against Waltham in a game they were shut down. They got little done on the ground and only got 25 yards net on the ground. And so far they're not doing much better tonight. But their defense in turn holding Brockton pretty much in check for the most part tonight. Boatwright looks like he wants to put it up. Heavy rush, gets it away, and this pass underthrown, and lucky that wasn't intercepted. The intended receiver down there, number 85, Jamal Garrison, the author of the touchdown for the Brockton Boxers.
Yeah, like you said, Bob, the heavy rush on Boatwright, he was not able to pass that ball very smoothly out there to the receivers as it was behind on one of them.
Now the emphasis will go from Boatwright's arm to Boatwright's foot as he will stay in to punt the ball away for the Boxers at the 4:01 mark. Boxers in the lead if you're just joining us here in the second quarter, 10-7. Boatwright a little bit more room this time. Will kick the ball away from about his 10-yard line. So it should be good field position. Nearly blocked with a good head of steam. Hasselbeck wants to return. He's got it at the Brockton 45. He's down to the 30. And finally met there and forced out of bounds by Mark Millard, number 45. But again, Hasselbeck choosing not to even think about the fair catch, took the ball and with a full head of steam, and he took that ball at about the 45-yard line. Watch it again right here. Nice high kick. And watch Hasselbeck come in. He's not thinking fair catch at all. And he brings the ball all the way down to about the Brockton 20 where it's going to be 1st and 10.
Excellent decision by Mr. Hasselbeck on that, like you said, to get up a full head of steam and just go straight ahead.
And you saw the tackle by Mark Millard, who stays in the ball game on defense. And again, it seems every single time that the Hawks get the ball, it's an even better field position, this time from the Brockton 20 as they trail by 3. Galatizia, the only man in the backfield. Schlittler runs for his life this time. Heavy rush by Garrison, has a man in the end zone, but this one is incomplete, out of bounds. Nice interception down there by Boatwright, but I believe his feet came down beyond the inline. And the two officials right there to make the call, and I think they made the correct one. Great defensive play by Boatwright. Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Again, right, Bob. Again, great defensive play by the whole defensive secondary to keep with their man, and basically he just kind of threw it up there for grabs, sort of like going out of bounds and hope for the best.
I'll tell you what's exciting about this game that you don't often have is you have two excellent throwing quarterbacks. Usually it's just run and run the clock down, drive the opposition into just fatigue. You have some excellent offensive football here tonight, despite the fact we only have 17 points on the board because of some heady defensive play. Right now we have a timeout called, and this is going to be a full timeout. I believe their first called by the Hawks as Xaverian. There's the story with 3:39 to go here in the second quarter, and we're happy to be on. Bob Sondheim doing the play-by-play, Miles Jackson with the color, and our wonderful crew here at BCA for our game of the week from Marciano Stadium, Brockton's third and the second of the year for the Xaverian Hawks.
Yes, like you said, Bob, you see a balance of passing and throwing this evening by both Brockton and Xaverian High School. They're spreading it all out, basically.
It really makes it fun. It really does. You have two excellent quarterbacks who can really air that ball out. And it's completely different than what Charlie Stevenson had for his offense last year, because it was the Derek Knight show, who had 4 touchdowns. I mean, he just ripped off yardage in great hunks. As you look at James Jackson catching a breather, and I'll tell you, he's had a lot of the responsibility for carrying the ball on the ground. He's seen a lot of white shirts and a talented defense come his way. You know, just because we didn't have the stats at that time last week, just to recap the outstanding performance by Stefan Gomes, and you have to tip your hat to a fine athlete from Barnstable. He had 220 yards in that ball game last week. And, of course, starting it off with a 73-yard touchdown didn't do him any harm towards those numbers. But what an outstanding performance by a gifted athlete. And you have to tip your hat. When you see them, you appreciate them. And Stefan Gomes with a fine job for his team's win. Right now, after the incomplete forward pass, a 2nd and 10 situation from the Brockton 20. Pitch out goes to Benson. He's got some company. Matt Gardner, a nice play coming up quickly from the secondary. And he spots Benson for a couple yards before forcing number 22 out of bounds on the Hawk side of the field.
He had an excellent block by Peter Sheen, number 2, the other halfback, on, I believe it was number 57, to take him right out of the play because he was ready to hit the young man that was running with the ball.
And of course, Sheehan caught that touchdown pass from Schlittler, the only score thus far for the Hawks. 3rd down situation, call it 3rd and 7, 3 yards on the last carry by Benson. So the ball down, hugging the 17-yard line. Let's see what Schlittler calls in likely 2-down territory. Sheehan flank to the right, Hasselbeck up top, the favorite receiver. Looks his way, throws over the middle to Benson. Great coverage by Alexander, breaking it up as he had a hold of Benson and jarred the ball loose.
Good defensive play by Benson. Was that Benson?
Alexander.
Alexander?
Yeah, on Benson, yeah.
On Benson, okay. Excellent play.
Giovanni Benson, another classic name in the Sondheim Hall of Fame names. That's a great one.
They're going for it.
And he's a good athlete. No great surprise here. So instead of trying to tie it up with a tying field goal, they will go instead on 4th down. Unable to convert the big one so far in this game, very much the story. Here's Schlittler. Pass over the middle. This one's going to be broken up. And pass intended for Kent Gunther, number 6, had a man. But again, outstanding defensive secondary coverage by the Brockton Boxers. Take another look at it right here, Miles.
Yes, I believe that was Mr. Boatwright that got his hands in there on that play.
But Millard was right there in the coverage, just needling him just enough to break it up.
Yeah, the pass by Mike, the quarterback, was just a little bit ahead of him there.
Just a touch.
Just a touch.
Yep. I'll tell you, Mark Millard off to a good start in this game defensively. Good two-way football player, number 45. 3:15 to go. The band assembling on the right side under the scoreboard, which reads 10-7 Brockton in the lead here in the second quarter. If you're just joining us, Boxers take the ball over. Boatwright looking for the home run. He's got a man, but it's going to be overthrown. Pass intended for Robert Alexander. I tell you, Alexander with a head of steam down there, and Sheehan right there with him. Good coverage.
Good coverage by Peter Sheehan. He would, as you said, Bob, he was right there with him step for step.
I'll tell you, Boatwright's feeling it tonight, though. He hasn't quite hooked up the way he'd like to, except for the big long bomb to a wide-open Ellis McMurtry before, en route to the tying field goal. But he can air it out, and he makes it exciting, as does Schlittler. So 2nd down and 10. Clock stops with 3:09 to go. And the ball resting down at about the 18-yard line of Brockton. Boatwright has had his conference. In comes Alexander as well.
I'm sure Coach Colombo would like his offensive team to stay on the field for the rest of the half to keep the ball out of the Hawks' hands.
Well, that's the plan. He'd love nothing more than a nice grinded-out drive to go up by maybe as much as 10. Gunther pushed out of the way. Nice block, Millard, giving Boatwright a little time. Let me correct, it was Frazier on the block, not Millard. Nice game by Boatwright, close to the first down, a little bit short, I believe. No, he does have the first down.
Good effort by Boatwright there to find a hole to bring it upfield for the first down.
Thought it was a little short. The official corrects me. Good for 10 yards on the first down. Clock rolls on. Remember, Brockton can still stop it 3 more times. So the clock, not really a factor right now, as Brockton looking to try to add to a 3-point margin. They can manage the clock as they will if they keep moving it downfield. It's got Robert Alexander wide down here on the left. And we have movement this time. I think this one's going to be called on the offense. Possibly Shane Bester a little overeager on the right side. Perhaps we'll wait for the official call. Should be procedure. And that is the call. Push it back 5 yards. Down remains the same. 1st and 15.
Brockton's offensive line a little bit anxious there.
And let's see what Armand Colombo cooks up on the 1st and 15 decision. Clock starts again as we approach 2 minutes, so you don't want to dawdle too much. Especially when you have the likes of a Boatwright who can change things around with one flick of the wrist. Out of the eye they come. This time it'll be Jackson. He's going nowhere. A great defensive stand that time. And plugging it up right away down there is number 40 again, Mike Malvesti, who's had a good first half. Heard us call number 40's name from his right linebacker position. Timeout's going to be called. 22nd variety is called by Xaverian. Now coming up to a 2nd down and long, they have their eyes on possibly getting back on offense to try and tie or take the lead in this game.
So true, Bob. Xaverian feels that they can get the ball back and maybe do something quickly within these last minute and 50 seconds.
And a good call by a veteran coach, Charlie Stevenson, 7 years as the head coach for the Hawks of Xaverian. And on the flip side, Armand Colombo. Well, not much has to be said. Closing in on 300 wins. Just incredible. So the clock stopped at 1:49 to go. Boatwright has had his meeting with the coach. 2nd down and long after the loss on the last handoff to Jackson. Fake this time to Jackson, rolling out wide right, letting go long. And McMurtry, covered by Benson, nearly came back and caught that ball. The ball incomplete. And again, Boatwright just makes it exciting with a nice rollout right, looking for that pass downfield. And a nice defensive play by Benson. One-on-one coverage that time. McMurtry nearly snared it.
Yes, Bob, that pass was a tiny bit underthrown. McMurtry did a good job coming back and trying to catch that football and also keeping the defender from intercepting it.
Now, the chance you take, of course, putting the ball in the air is that it stops the clock. After 7 ticks, Charlie Stevenson does not have to burn a timeout. So that's one more stoppage of play that he's going to get a chance to utilize for the offense if indeed the Hawks get the ball back after this play. 3rd down and long for Boatwright in the offense. Gunther with a heavy rush. Boatwright flicks it out here. He's got Garrison for the first. No, it's not a first down. It's going to be close, but I believe short. Out here past the 35, they're going to mark it down at the 36, about 2 yards short. It's 4th down for Brockton.
That was a beautiful touch on the pass by Boatwright to put it right in there to Garrison's hands. Excellent hands by him.
Oh, excellent catches right here. It is again. Real nice catch that time into double coverage. But where he falls down is about 2 yards short of the first down. Brockton's going to talk it over, I believe, right here. They lined up ready to go for it right away. Now, Boatwright is not only, of course, the quarterback, he's also the punter on the team. So he's going to go over and have a word with an upset Armand Colombo down on the sideline. Missing the first down by just 2 yards. He has to get out to the 38, the ball presently at the 36. Now the Boxers indeed do call the timeout. And melting the clock down to 48 seconds, just trying to buy some precious seconds for his defense.
This is a big decision on
No, I think
Brockton.
they're going to kick. I think you have to kick here. But we'll see what the head guy calls. trying to wear the clock down, obviously. He's, I think, upset that it came up short, and after a nice pass reception that time by Garrison from Boatwright. So who knows what will happen under the full moon here in BCA Cable's Game of the Week. Stick around on a big 4th down decision for the Brockton Boxers, up in this ball game by a score of 10-7. There we are. I thought it was 2001 there for a minute. I was waiting for Arthur Clark and some theme music. There's one of our volunteers. And we're going to get the names of all the volunteers. They're your neighbors, and they put on a fine show to bring this to you each and every week. It's Mike Melanson you had to look at. There he is. Hello, Mike. He can't hear me, but nonetheless doing a good job getting the handheld pictures right down on the field. And he's lined up down around the Hawk 37-yard line where he's stationed.
And Bob, people don't realize that's really a tough job down there on the sidelines to hold that heavy camera and stay with the action the whole game.
I want to point out that not only does Miles Jackson do a nice job on color, he, of course, is one of the very talented cameramen for BCA.
Thanks, Bob.
So you know what you're talking about. I'm happy to have you up here in the booth anytime, though, of course. So 4th down decision. Are the Boxers going to go for it? Looks like they will. Interesting decision right here. Big gamble on a 4th down with field position hanging in the balance. 4th down situation. Now a timeout called again. Possibly looking with the long count for the jump offside by an eager Hawk defense. That didn't happen. Now let's see if the play changes. So we're kind of stuck on 48 seconds as we count it down here in the 2nd quarter of play. 10-7 Brockton on a 30-yard Ampuja field goal, the difference. As you're in the huddle there with the cheerleaders and the mascot. And Mr. Melanson, that's what the handheld camera does, folks. If you're wondering about the kind of shots you get, you're right in on the huddle.
These cheerleaders doing an excellent job this evening to get this crowd into the game.
Tell you, some great shots from our camera crew. I can really appreciate it. And we hope you fans can too. And stick around for the names so you can thank your neighbors for this great job. And again, Brockton lines up like they're going to go for it. Indeed, I think they will. 4th down, 2 to go. Man in motion is Garrison, shifting from left to right into a tight end slot. And there was the offside on the keeper. It's going to be 1st down anyway, as Brockton suckered the Xaverian team into the offside call, but nonetheless it was a 1st down picked up by Boatwright. Either way, it's going to be a 1st down for the Boxers.
Here we have it on replay. Excellent call by Coach Colombo to have Boatwright just bring it straight ahead. He's tall enough and big enough to get through there for a 1st down. Excellent call.
One of the few things that Mike Malvesti has done wrong from his right linebacker slot out of the 4-4-3 defense. He was suckered in offside, and they will accept the penalty. Good for the 5 yards. 44 seconds still to go, and don't count Brockton out yet. Ampuja has 1 field goal to his credit, and you have the live arm of number 16. 1st and 10. Back goes Boatwright. No secret here. He lets it fly, and nobody's going to get to this ball. And I'm telling you, he let that ball go a good 45 yards in the air without a problem, a perfect spiral.
There was no problem with Mr. Boatwright airing that ball the way he did. It's kind of scary how far he can throw it.
He is an outstanding passer. Darrell Cousins right there running out of your screen. Activated today, number 87. Another good lanky target. And he was the intended receiver. The ball thrown easily 5 yards, 10 yards over his head. So Boatwright will head back in. 31 seconds to go. That play used up 13 seconds on the incompletion. The stop clock after the incompletion. So from the Brockton 41 again, Boatwright with the intention of trying to set up the Boxers in possibly a field goal situation. He'll drop back again. Good protection for Boatwright, who nearly slipped. Pass is almost caught but dropped over there. Ellis McMurtry, the intended receiver, right there in your picture. The ball off his hands at about a little bit beyond midfield. Would have been a 1st down. Clock again stops. We're facing 3rd down.
Yes, good pass by Boatwright. Looked like it should have been caught by McMurtry, but I think it just went right through his fingertips. Unfortunately, excellent pass by Boatwright.
I'm sure Armin Colombo, while he sends in the play, which undoubtedly will be a pass, at the same time is saying, be careful. stay away from the interception, stay away from the backbreaker, momentum breaker here at the end of the first half, the big mistake. 3rd down and long. They'll send twin receivers up top. McMurtry and it looked like Alexander. They will hand the ball off and take it easy this time. Just be conservative. Hand it to Jackson. He's got half of the Hawks squad and all of Westwood on top of him. 16 seconds. The clock is going to, let's see if somebody called timeout or will it just continue to run.
I believe there was a holding on
yes,
there.
There was
Brockton.
a markered play. Yep, marker on the play. That will stop the clock momentarily until the officials set the ball down. Holding is the call. Declined, of course, because Stevenson wants the ball back if possible. The Hawks will step in and call the 20-second timeout to nobody's surprise, just to stop the clock that still has 16 seconds to go. 4th down situation upcoming here. Now Brockton went for it before, drew the offsides on Mulvesti for the 1st down. Boatwright had the gain anyway, but let's see what Armin Colombo cooks up. He went for it before in worse field position than this. Let's see
Bob,
if he does it again.
I believe, Bob, that he'll probably keep the ball. He doesn't want to put it back in Xaverian's hands, say if they did punt it and risk a run back or anything. So I believe they'll hold on to the ball and try to do something. Well, it looks like they're getting the punting team in there.
Well, here they come.
Okay.
And so he will put it on the foot of McMurtry instead of in the arm of McMurtry with 16 seconds to go. Crowd buzzes about that a bit down below.
I guess Coach Colombo has enough confidence in his special teams to hold the Hawks downfield.
Doing the snapping down there is Justin Courtney, number 52. Nice, high, lazy spiral down there. And it's picked up by Sheehan. Head of steam for Sheehan, and he's going to be met by a wall of Boxer tacklers out at about the 37-yard line. Good special teams coverage by the Boxers defense. 4 seconds is all that's left. Time for one more play before the end of the first half.
I believe Ralph Shirley, number 81, put a good stick on the returner there on that play.
We're getting some different names this week. It's nice to see. But just for the record, it was number 52, Justin Courtney, as junior, who did the
excellent
snap that time, centering the football. 1 play left, and don't look for the Hawks to do anything outrageous here. 3 men in the backfield, kneeing it down to Schlittler. And Stevenson and Colombo will take their respective charges into the locker room. We've reached the end of 22 minutes of play, and the score is Brockton 10 and Xaverian 7 in a nice open, wide open offensive football game, and yet at the same time only 17 points between these two highly talented squads.
Yes, Bob, nobody's being bashful on either side. They're trying to run. If they can't run, they're not afraid to put it up in the air, as you can see.
Well, you want to stick around for this one, and right now, at the same time, stick around for a halftime show as Vinnie McCreena, the talented Brockton Boxer Marching Band, will perform for you, and we'll be back with that performance after we take timeout. We are at halftime of a 10-7 Brockton Boxer lead over the Xaverian Hawks, and I'm joined by my old partner here, 7th grader now, an old man, Peter Zimbor. And Peter, first of all, welcome to the broadcast booth.
Thank you.
And also your impressions of the first half of play.
I think it's a great game. Certainly the score is closer than it was last year at this time. Thought it was an amazing catch in the corner of the end zone by Xaverian.
By Peter Sheehan. That was a terrific catch he made. And Matt Gardner, a fine defensive play. Unfortunately, he just didn't get enough of the ball to deflect it away before Sheehan caught it for the touchdown.
The second time the ball went over to that side of the field, he was right there. Almost had an interception, but kind of stepped out of bounds.
Okay, now here's the big question, the one I've been waiting to ask you all night long because I knew I'd see you. Are the Patriots going to beat the New York Football Giants on Sunday? What do you think?
I think that they can because I saw the game last week, the Redskins and the Giants,
right.
and the Redskins absolutely demolished.
Those are my guys.
Giants
I'm
defense.
a Redskin fan. I live with the pain, and I also exult in their victories. But anyway, now can they do it? Will they do it?
I think they can. I think the Giants want to make a lot of improvements. I think this is the game to show that they can play.
They have
but
an
I think
outstanding
I think the Patriots will have this one.
So the Patriots will go 3-0. I can take that to the bank.
Yes.
Okay, Peter Zimbor, everybody, says the Patriots victorious. How about a score? Want to predict a score?
Oh, I think it will be a close one. I'll leave it there.
Leave it at that. That's good. Are you going to go into politics someday?
No.
Think about it. I think you have a future in that. All right, Peter, we're going to join you. You're going to join us again as Brockton's going to get set to kick off for Xaverian. We'll bring Miles Jackson in here. Thank you for coming by.
Thank
and
you.
Enjoy the second half because this is going to be a great game. Mark it down.
See that from the score.
That's a safe bet, okay?
Okay.
Peter, thanks a lot for joining us. Peter Zimbor, everybody, our 7th grader, and he has a tremendous insight into the game of football. If you were with me last year, I enjoyed very much having Peter up on top of the booth, and he says that the Patriots are going to take it away. Miles Jackson, what are you saying? Let's see if we're on. Having some technical difficulty. Press the cough button for a minute. I think we got
Testing.
There you go.
Okay.
You're on.
Well, I think the Patriots, they should win that game against the Giants. It'll be very interesting. It's an 8 o'clock game, so that'll be interesting to see how the players react from a 1 o'clock game all the way up to an 8 o'clock nationally televised ESPN game.
Be interesting to see how long it takes the people to get home for work the next day, too. That's another offshoot. But are you saying they're going to win? I picked them against the Colts, who are lucky on that one.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
So I believe they will beat the Giants at home and come out with a victory.
I like them by 10 points. The Giants' defense can be super. They were lit up, as Peter said, by my Redskins last week with 50 points. And I think the Patriots fans could take it to the bank. I think they're going to be 3-0 in the young season.
Well, I tell you, that guy Peter, he sounded pretty good.
He's great.
He's going places.
He is going places, and he's very political too. He knows. He says it'll be close. Right here, it's 10-7 Brockton, set for the second half. The ball squibbed down. Here's Sheehan, and Sheehan is nearly decapitated by one Brockton tackler, Junior Mark. Another great name, M-A-R-C, is the last name, Junior Mark. Leading the charge down there as Peter Sheehan is tackled inside the 30-yard line. And the officials are going to mark the ball down at the 27, 1st and 10 for the Hawks of Xaverian. Just underway here with the opening kick, 10-7. And the difference in this ball game, an Eric Ampuja 30-yard field goal in the early going. The second quarter of play, I should mention. And here we go. Schlittler is the quarterback. We got trips right as he's showing pass with a single setback to Letizia in the backfield. The pass goes to Benson. He's got 5, he's got 10, 15, and you can't let this guy get loose. And he is loose, and he's going to go all the way. Not knocked out of bounds. Letizia is going to go all the way for the touchdown in the first play from scrimmage. It's going to go a total of 73 yards to the speedster on the short pass from Schlittler to Benson for the score, and Xaverian has the lead in this ball game for the first time tonight, just like that.
Yes, that was an excellent play by the Hawks there, where the number 22 Benson was wide open on the flat, and he just took it right upfield. Excellent play. There was nobody around, no Brockton defenders around that. They were fooled on that play, I believe.
Well, that's what speed does, and Giovanni Benson, number 22, on the receiving end from his quarterback Mike Schlittler for the second touchdown pass for the Hawks as they're up in this ball game very quickly by a score of 13-10. Tully in to do the extra point. Schlittler the hold, Tully with the kick. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And just like that, lightning has struck the Boxers, and I hate to mention it, but the same 73 yards that Gomes lit them up with second play from scrimmage to start the game last week, one play from scrimmage, same distance, and it's a touchdown pass play. Schlittler to the very gifted and talented Benson, number 22, for the big touchdown.
Yes, indeed, Bob. Deja vu all over again, as you said.
Thanks, Yogi.
It's just unbelievable. The Boxers just have to put that behind them, the defense, and the next time they get out there, just do their thing.
Well, while we have a chance, our first thank you of the evening to our fine staff tonight doing the BCA coverage to give you the pictures of tonight's game, and what pictures they were, too, especially at halftime. I'll get to that in a minute. Producer Mark Lindy, our director and all-around good guy, Steve Roy in the truck. Replay Lori Barris and Greg Oxford. Lori Barris also doing the computer graphics for tonight's game. Mark Lindy on audio. Camera 1 was Walt Sawyer. We're still on. Camera 2, Ed Gleason. Danny Driscoll in camera 3. The grip, Mike Melanson, also doing some nice handheld. And my thanks again to Miles Jackson, myself, Bob Sondheim, our crew for tonight for the BCA coverage. Tully will get set to kick off from the 40. A lightning has struck in the bottle for the Hawks of Xaverian as their fans celebrate on the far side of the field. And back deep will be Hill and Alexander, 23 and 28 respectively for the Boxers. You just got a glimpse of them. Here's the kickoff. The ball bouncing down. It's going to go to Alexander at about the 8. He's at the 10, the 20. Tries to shake a tackler loose and is ganged up at about the 24-yard line, where Brockton will go on offense for the first time in the second half, and they trail it for the first time tonight by the score of 14-10.
Yes, but Brockton's offense can't be anxious. They just have to stick to their game plan, use their heads while out there, no stupid mistakes as far as penalties go, and move right up down this field and try to put some points on the board.
You may have caught a slight grimace that time as our camera had a good look at Alexander coming off the field after his return on that kickoff, and possibly may have hurt the ankle with a tough tackler hanging onto that ankle on the tackle. We'll keep an eye on that tonight. Out of the eye, the pitch goes to Jackson. Jackson trying to turn the corner left, has all kinds of company. The ball comes loose, and the ball is loose on the turf, and the Hawks think they have it, and they do. And the Hawks will have it inside the 25 at about the 24. You could see that ball pop free out of Jackson's clutches. And I could not see who recovered, but of course the Hawks will go on offense. First turnover of the game for the Brockton Boxers. In fact, the first turnover of the game, I believe. And take another look right here. Now watch carefully. You're going to see that ball pop loose right there, way up in the air, a free football. And diving on it, I couldn't see his number, but coming back into the action. Clearly recovered by Xaverian. They mark it at the 23-yard line. First down. First down from the 23. The Boxers have to really get tough defensively here. Trailing by 4 suddenly in this game. Schlittler's team out of the eye. Delatizia has a head of steam. He's got 5, he's got 10. He's going to have very close to the first down, as he's going to be knocked down inside the 15 at about the 14-yard line. We'll see where the officials mark it.
Yes, big number 44 popped through that line. It looked like it was a little bit of sloppy tackling on Brockton's line right there, because they really had him stuck right there at the line of scrimmage, but he was able to break away and work his way down towards the first down.
9 yards for Delatizia, a bit short of the first down, inside the 15. And boy, Xaverian really with momentum on their side suddenly to start the second half of play. Schlittler, long count, gives it to Benson. He breaks through. He's at the 5, spinning, and he will not be denied. And he's got the touchdown. What a run that time by Benson, taking 2 tacklers on his back as he heads into the end zone. That's just a king-size run by the halfback. His second touchdown in as many drives. And take another look at this.
And like you said, Bob, he was not to be denied on that. He's breaking tacklers, he's spinning, he's keeping his feet up, he's on his toes, and he's determined. He's carrying 2 tacklers into the end zone for the touchdown.
Boy, that's just a king-size run by another hard runner against the Brockton Boxers. This time, again, Giovanni Benson, number 22, on the ground. And that makes the score 21-10, suddenly in favor of the Hawks. The kick is up. The kick is good by Tully. And it is 22-10 very quickly, just like that. So taking advantage of the miscue by Jackson, the Brockton Boxers yield another touchdown. And the teams come back up the field. Benson with a 14-yard run that time to go with a 73-yard pass reception from quarterback Mike Schlittler. And the Brockton Boxers and their fans stunned right at the moment here at Marciano Stadium. But believe me, there's plenty of football remaining.
Yes,
well
yes,
over
it is,
20 minutes.
Definitely so. Brockton's definitely, they're in a state of shock right now, but they need to come out of it. As you say, there's every bit as much time to get back into this game.
Anytime you have the weapon of the arm of a guy like Boatwright and the talented receivers that have shown up tonight, including Garrison with 2 excellent catches, 1 good for a score, do not leave the TV set because this one far from over. But right now, momentum clearly on the side of the guys in white. Tully advances to the ball. Nice high end over end. It's going to come down to Alexander from the 5, the 10-15. He's going to be met head up. First man to meet him down there was number 21, and that's Keith Malrick with the stop.
You know, you got to give the Hawks credit on their special team. These 2 breakaway kickoff returners for Brockton haven't really done anything as far as breakaway. So the Hawks have been an excellent job on the special teams that you can see here on the replay.
A good look at it with our camera. You're right there along with Alexander. Here comes the sophomore Malrick, number 21. The first to just really stop the momentum of Robert Alexander before his mates came along. Ball marked down outside the 20, mark it at the 22. Brockton down by 11 points in this game. 21, I believe I said 22. It's 21-10. And Boatwright and the offense now really has to get to work. Handoff again. Nope.
Here we go, in the round.
What a nice call, fake me
Brandon
out.
Hill.
Hill is going to be knocked out of bounds. What a great call that time. A little page out of the Redskin book. Hill dancing around after a tremendous gain inside the 40-yard line is Xaverian. They're going to mark it down at about the 39. The old end around. Let me have another look so I can see it for the first time because I certainly missed that one, fans. Here's the end around right there. Our camera out of camera range. Everybody faked out except for about one more tackler right there as Hill just picking up gobs of yardage. And guess who it is? Giovanni Benson finally pushes the guy out of bounds.
Nobody paid attention to Brandon Hill. I believe that's his first time in the offensive set, and nobody paid attention to Brandon Hill as he came around on the end around.
Down to the 39-yard line is Xaverian. Just what the Boxers needed. 1st and 10 out of the eye. Short drop, pass Boatwright's got his man over there, and that's McMurtry. And McMurtry is forced down inside the 35, a pickup of about 5 yards on the play, maybe 6.
Yeah, that was a good pass to McMurtry. I think it's his first pass of the evening that he's caught. And he needs to get more involved in this offense.
Second one. Remember the long bomb on the roll-up by Boatwright before in the second quarter. En route to the what was then the lead field goal, but no longer the field goal by Eric Ampuja. But now the Boxers on the move. 2nd down and 5 situation, pickup of 5 with 8.5 to go, 3rd quarter. Plenty of time, but you almost have the feeling that the Boxers, to regain momentum in this game, have to take it in and get some points on the board.
So true, Bob.
Trailing by 11, 2nd down and 5 situation. Give it to Jackson. Jackson following some blocking left side is going to be close to the 30-yard line. He has to get down to the 29. It'll leave him probably 2 yards short. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Brockton has to keep the momentum going on this drive. They need to put some points on the board here to keep their confidence level up.
And you can bet, should they not be successful on this try, we'll wait and see as Boatwright comes back into the huddle. You'll see him coming in there after meeting Armin Colombo. You can bet they're going to go on 4th down here because they want to seize the momentum back in this game, which they had pretty much of the first half. 3rd down situation. Boatwright looks it over. Out of the eye, Millard and Jackson behind him. The keeper, the big fella's got the 1st down. Spins outside, might have a yard to spare. We'll see where they mark it down. It should be enough for the 1st. Maybe I shouldn't count my chickens. Let's wait and see. They have a hurt ball player down there as well. It's Kent Gunther on the ground, number 6. And he gets up, favoring an ankle, try and walk it off.
Kent Gunther, he's a senior, big guy. They need Kent in there. He's one of the leaders on defense.
Yes, he is. Oh, this is going to be a lot closer than I thought. I thought perhaps not a favorable spot in that particular time. I thought his forward progress carried Boatwright a little bit farther. This is going to be a very close measurement, looking through the glasses to take a look at this one. And it's going to be short by the nose of a football, 4th down situation for the Brockton Boxers.
Well, Bob, what do you think? You think they'll go?
Oh, absolutely. No question. Bet the bank money on this one, Miles. My man, they're going to go on this one, or I'm starting up the car. 4th down situation. I look for Boatwright on a sneak right here. Why even take the chance of a handoff when you got the guy, the power of a 6'4" guy like Boatwright who could just lean his big body across.
So true.
Well, let's see what they call. At least I'm still here with you for the game. I'm not starting the car, that's for sure. They'll give it to Millard. Millard, the quick opener. He's got one more man to beat. He's at the 15, 10, 5, and did he get across? He's got the touchdown, Mark Millard, for the score. Mark Millard tiptoed along the sideline and hit the cone and gets the touchdown signal by the referee, by the official, I should mention. The quick opener to Mark Millard. Take a look right here.
Here we go, Bob. As Mark Millard busted right through the middle there with his power, shook off a tackler there, waited for his block, and took off with the speed down the sidelines.
Nice job by Gardner to tie up Benson just long enough for number 45 to get into the end zone, as you took a look on our replay. And Mark Millard's touchdown makes it 21-16.
Brockton definitely has put on the power boosters here in this drive.
6:58 to go. Plenty of football. You don't want to leave your TV sets on this one. This is going to be a great finish. Another exciting football game at Marciano for you fans on BCA's Game of the Week.
Look out for Brandon Hill, number 23, as he's inserted into the two-point conversion.
Well, they're going to go for 2. It'll leave them with 3 points, and you're just a field goal away, and Puja can do that. Boatwright still has it, and he's nailed by Hasselbeck. Great play. Hasselbeck stayed home on that one, and the try for 2 fails to keep the score at 21-16. Great play defensively by Nate Hasselbeck.
Definitely. I believe they used Brandon Hill, number 23, as a decoy there, as the defense saw him come out there, but it didn't fool Matt Hasselbeck.
Well, I'll tell you, that's Nate actually on that
Nate.
one. He has a whole family. You make up a first name, there's probably a Hasselbeck out there that he'll answer to it and beat you at the table. I'll tell you, that was a great call there. A lot of good ball faking and stuff. You've seen Shane Bester, 75 off the field. Jeff Pike, 66 right there, 2 of the starters. But I'll tell you, a great, well-designed play, but as you pointed out, Nate Hasselbeck, whose dad, of course, played for the New England Patriots some years ago. A great fine football tradition, and of course his older brother Tim right now, the starting quarterback for the BC Eagles, sitting atop at 2-0 on the young season. So they know their football, and Nate stayed home in that play and made the great play to shut down the try for 2. But we've got a ball game. 21-16, Millard on the big touchdown run that time. Brockton needed 1, they got 6, if you know what I mean. So,
and they got it quickly.
Yes, they did. There's Impuja. And you got Benson deep, and you got Sheehan deep, 2 speedsters with speed to burn. This will be Sheehan. Sheehan at the 15, the 20, 25, tries to pick up a block, and he's got a hole and finally knocked down, but not until he gets out to the 40. And boy, it helps to have 2 speedsters like number 2 Sheehan and also 22 Benson.
Yes, and number 28, Robert Alexander, made a saving tackle on that because he was ready to, as you can see here on the replay, Mr. Benson.
This is Sheehan.
Oh, this is Sheehan. Okay, very quick back.
Look at running with the head up, exploiting the hole right there, still with the head up. Great play. That was Robert Alexander, 28 on the tackle. A lot of names that you're becoming familiar with tonight because they're playing fine football games. Millard and Alexander, just 2 of those individuals for the guys in black. Schlittler back in. Has Benson up top. Looks Sheehan's way, Hasselbeck's way, and this pass overthrown. had the coverage of Robert Alexander, but this pass well overthrown and no place for Hasselbeck to pull it in.
Yeah, Robert Alexander wasn't fooled on that play-action play. He stayed right with Mr. Hasselbeck.
Now you get a good look at Nate Hasselbeck, who came up with a great defensive play, now turns his attention to the offensive receiving situation. Of course, as I mentioned earlier to start the broadcast, he had 6 catches for 61 yards in that loss to Waltham to start the Hawks season. Schlittler and Boatwright, 2 exciting quarterbacks. As I mentioned in the first half, how exciting it is to see 2 excellent passing quarterbacks open up a high school football game. And that's what this one has turned into. Excitement galore. Hasselbeck and Sheehan flood the left side. 2nd down and 10. Handoff this time to Benson. Hurdles over one tackler and takes it out to the 45-yard line. A pickup of 5. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Excellent run by number 22, Benson. He just tripped up as he was hurtling over the tacklers.
And that's literally what he did. What a heady ball player. As you've heard me point out, if you've listened to some of the broadcasts before, so much of what scouts look at, and college people in particular, is that first and second step. How quickly can the back hit the hole and with what intensity? And number 22 has a lot going for him. Out of the eye they'll come. Delatizzi is the up man, Benson the deep man. Sheehan and Hasselbeck flank left side. Schlittler rolls right, however. Heavy rush, pass downfield is dropped. And the intended receiver was Sheehan on a crossing route that time, left to right. And this will bring up 4th down and kick time for the guys in white, the Xaverian Hawks.
Excellent job by the quarterback, Schlittler, as he eluded a couple of Brockton defenders that were coming in. He kept his cool as they approached him and laid it right into the hands of Sheehan. Unfortunately, he dropped it.
And you Brockton Boxer fans, remember Miles Jackson will be joined by Brian Madden next week, as the Boxers will be on the road up Danvers way to take on a very tough St. John's prep team, a team that that was the big coming out party for Eric Boatwright, who threw for 4 touchdowns in the victory right here at Marciano last year against St. John's. The kick by Hasselbeck is short and high and will be a run back. Players come together. This is Hill. Can he turn the corner? Not quite. He's going to be escorted out of bounds inside the 25 at about the 24. Great coverage downfield that time by Xaverian. Number 24, Greg Hamilton, also along with Keith Melrick, number 21 that we called his name on the last play on the kickoff.
Excellent coverage, Bob, as you said. And they had some speed there to make Brandon go to the outside with no gain at all.
Brandon Hill's an exciting athlete. He really
Yes,
is,
he is.
Miles. A lot of spark plugs on this team that can really light it up. Great speed to burn. Got Alexander and Hill, 2 of them really focused on with the kickoffs and the punt returns of Hill. And you got Ellis McMurtry, who has a couple of catches tonight. How about Garrison? Some great athletes. Mark Millard having a fine game. Still waiting for James Jackson to bust one loose, because that's going to happen before long. And Boatwright having a fine performance tonight, both sides of the ball, number 16. Hand off to Jackson. Jackson tripped up, and he could have been loose on that one, and he knows it as he pounds a fist into the turf.
Right you are, Bob. He knows he was ready to break that one wide open. Unfortunately, he was tripped up at the shoelaces.
Still, he picks up 5 on the play.
Excellent defensive play, even though he did gain 5 yards.
Yes, it was. Could have been a lot worse than that, as Brockton trying to seize control of this football game, trailing it by 5, 21-16. So the ball marked out at about the 28.5-yard line. 2nd down situation, and we'll call it a long 5 for Brockton 1st down. Just over 5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter, and it's 21-16 in favor of Xaverian. Big rush, stepping out of the way is the fleet Boatwright. And he's not going to get out of the way of this one. And this Delatizia this time, big number 44, comes in for a big guy with some good agility and speed to shut down the quarterback.
Excellent defense there again on the pursuit of Boatwright. Give the defensive backs credit for covering their receivers, as Boatwright really didn't have anybody to throw to.
He's going to lose about 5 on the play, actually maybe 4 on the play. All the way back inside the 25, mark it at the 24, 3rd down and a long 9 situation for a Brockton 1st down. So Armin Colombo hands the play off to his quarterback, senior Eric Boatwright, number 16. Let's see what it is on 3rd down and 9 for the Boxers. Have to be careful here. They trail it by 5, looking for the big 1st down. Pertry up top. And a heavy rush. Boatwright is going to be sacked. No place to go. And good coverage downfield by the Hawks to really shut down that play. Nick Rossini, number 57, is the sacker. And that comes back at about the 20-yard line, so a loss of about 4 more yards will bring up a 4th down situation for Boatwright and the special teams to try and kick the ball away.
Yes, excellent play by number 57, Nick there. He battled along with that play, didn't give up on the play, and he had a quarterback in his hands at the end.
So twin coverage this time. Some speed to burn with Sheehan up top. And down on the bottom will be Hasselbeck. Twin coverage for the Hawks. Let's see if they play for the punt coverage or will they rush the kicker. Undoubtedly the return with the likes of these two guys and what they've done tonight. They do drop back. Kick is away by Boatwright. Settling under will be Sheehan. He receives it at his own 43 quickly to midfield, and he falls down there, and lucky for Brockton that he did, because he knows he had a nice entourage and a clear path around the right side. So a break for the Boxers that time as a disgruntled Sheehan, number 2, heads back to the offensive huddle. But Brockton, again, yielding some good field position as the Hawks have the ball inside their territory, hugging the 50-yard line, trailing by 5 are the Boxers as they go on defense.
Yeah, the defense, they really can't afford to let the Hawks score here. They really need to hold them and get the ball back.
And again, we're going to thank our crew when we have a break. They've done some outstanding camera shots tonight. Schlittler splits the ends out. This time he tries to come to Sheehan. Sheehan worried that it was a lateral with the missed ball. Still falls atop it, but it was an incomplete forward pass, bringing up 2nd down and 10.
Yes, Mike kind of threw a little bullet out there, and Sheehan couldn't really handle it.
So the Brockton Boxers trying to enjoy the last of the home cooking with their 2nd home game in a row. Only 4 home games, remember, fans. The next time the Boxers are home will be October 22nd. We'll have that ball game, Miles and myself right here against Durfee as they take the trip north from Fall River. And then it's Thanksgiving Day, so bring your turkey and come on out. Kickoff for that game will be 10 o'clock, November 25th. And we have a timeout called right here. Timeout's going to be signaled by Xaverian. This will be a full timeout situation, which gives us another chance to thank your neighbors once again, our fine crew, for the coverage in today's ball game against the Boxers and the Xaverian Hawks. Mark Lindy, our producer, our director Steve Roy in the truck, Lori Barris and Greg Oxford on replay. Lori also doing the computer graphics. And while we have a chance, I don't know if you folks, if you stayed with us at halftime, one of the great camera shots that I've seen in some time was Lori Barris on the handheld getting a picture of one of the flute players, and the close-up was like something you'd get if you went to a professional photographer. It was really quite an exciting shot. And you appreciate little things like that because you watch enough of these games, and it doesn't have, whether it's our game or whether it's professional on TV, meaning NFL games or college games, you pay attention to the artistry of the camera people. That was one of the great shots, and thank you, Lori. Mark Lindy's handling the audio, and on the cameras, Walt Sawyer, Ed Gleason, and Danny Driscoll. Mike Melanson doing some great shooting, and we had him focused on the first half, especially the work with the cheerleaders right on the sideline, getting some great shots of the action. And, of course, Miles and I, myself, Bob Sondheim, happy to bring you the accounts of the game. And what a great game it's been. 21-16. 21-16. Right down below us. 2nd down situation. The pass complete. And this is going for a 1st down. I'm trying to see if it's Hasselbeck over there. I don't believe so. Or was it? Yes, it is Hasselbeck.
Yes.
Hasselbeck on the receiving end takes the ball into the Brockton territory down inside the 35. 1st down and 10, a pickup of about 15 on that play.
Bob, that was a bang-bang play by the Hawks. Quickly, the quarterback got it out there to the receiver, and he shot right up the field.
Same kind of play that Benson scored the big 73-yard touchdown play. First play from scrimmage to turn the ball game around for the first Hawk lead of the night, a lead they still enjoy. 1st down from inside the 35, handoff Benson, right side, quick opener, but the Brockton Boxers right there to meet it after a gain of 2. Jeff Pike was there, Mark Millard, and also getting off the pile, number 71, Reaganson Roger. All three convening on the tackle of number 22, Giovanni Benson. And there are two of your better names, Giovanni Benson and Reaganson Roger. I mean, does it get better than that?
That's a mouthful.
Yes, it is. Two excellent names. So a second down situation. Call it 2nd and 8. We approach 2 minutes and 15 to go, third quarter. A lot of football to go, and don't leave your set. Quick opener this time. Hasselbeck drops the ball, quickly dives on the ball. I think that was a lateral.
Unfortunately, Bob, the Brockton defenders didn't really know that that was a lateral, because that ball sat out there for a second or two, and that's eternity on the football game.
And indeed it was a lateral, because you see where the stick is on the far side, and you also, now it's changed, and you see where the official puts the ball down on the 36-yard line. So loss of a couple on the play, third down situation, and 11.
I've noticed, Bob, that the Xaverian team is going to these quick bang-bang plays. Doesn't give Brockton's defense a chance really to do anything. Brockton has to be very alert on these type of plays.
Well, it's excellent strategy, too, because they have the team speed of the Bensons and the Hasselbacks, and, of course, well, I'll get back to that in 1 second. Let's wait till we get this in. Schlittler with a big drop. He's going right side, has a man out there. Pass is complete, and for the touchdown. Peter Sheehan was the other man I was going to mention about team speed, and no sooner do I say it, he demonstrates with a touchdown into the corner of the end zone. What a nicely thrown ball by Schlittler that time, and his third touchdown pass. As you get another look, watch Sheehan on the receiving end of this.
Beautiful pass by the quarterback. The defender let him go for some reason.
Yeah,
McMurtry.
McMurtry was just beaten. That pass just outdrew the coverage. And the pass right on the money to number 2, Sheehan, right down the sidelines for a couple of yards into the end zone for the score to make it 27-17. Well, we talked about 17 points between these teams at halftime. It was 10-7 Brockton. We're making up for it here in the third quarter of play alone. Kick is good, and it's 28-17.
One thing on that play, Bob, if you notice on the replay there, that the Hawks had 3 receivers out there on the right, sort of like Hail Mary type of lineup. And so there was a breakdown in the defense, and unfortunately for Brockton, the Hawks scored.
Well, third touchdown, I believe. Yeah, we had a correction here. It's 28-16. I want to correct the score. It's a 12-point lead by the Hawks. And I'll tell you something, the Brockton defense a little bit stunned as you see the corrected score on your screen.
And that definitely silenced the crowd here in Brockton.
Well, that seizes the momentum back just when it looked like the Boxers were primed to go back into the lead. All of a sudden, a quick touchdown pass, and Schlittler has his third of the night after coming up empty, and as his team was whitewashed 7-0 last week by Waltham in their opener. They popped 28 points on the board, and we're not done with the third quarter yet. Still 1:07 to play. And still a lot of football in this game. We keep reminding you about it because of the explosive nature of both of these offenses. So Tully will tee it up again from the 40, a familiar sight. Hill and Alexander deep. This time it's going to be Alexander again from the 10. Brings it out to the 15. Gets a block and wrapped up right there. The first man to reach him, Peter Sheehan, number 2.
But Peter Sheehan is into this game totally. He's totally focused, as you can see, as he zeroed in on Mr. Brandon Hill.
I stand corrected, it was Hill. And you're absolutely right, Miles. They're going to mark the ball down at the 17. So again, anytime you hold the opponent inside the 20, you've done your job.
Yes, sir.
Brockton does not have the good field position. They look up at the scoreboard, trailing by 12 as we dip just under a minute to play third quarter. Of course, there's one more man they're waiting for, and that's the big guy, number 16, who brings them the play from the sidelines, Eric Boatwright, who you have to look for putting the ball up. You're going to probably see more of Garrison and McMurtry and Robert Alexander, I would assume. Flanked out here is Patrick Emanuel, number 88. He was in the last series of downs, too. Delayed handoff. This isn't going anywhere. Hawks waiting for that. Jackson just not able to get anywhere. That's not his fault. He had no blocking in front of him. The
None
guys in white
Bob.
just took over the neutral zone.
So true, Bob. The offensive line needs to step up here definitely for the running back when they do call those running plays to let the running backs get through them holes and make some yardage.
Hawks put up 35 or so points last year. Right now they're sitting at 27 after a slow start, scoring only 7. I should say they have 28 right now, scoring only 7 in the first half of play. Boatwright has to be able to pull something out here to get the Boxers back into their game. Second down situation. No gain on the last carry by Jackson, so 2nd and 10, staring Boatwright in the face. Bumps into one of his men. He's going to air it out here. Skies this one. This one underthrown is going to be picked off by Sheehan. Sheehan with the interception. Runs it back about 8 yards before he's finally nailed on the play by Emmanuel, who has to turn defensive on the tackle. And that ball just slipped out of the hands of Boatwright. Just no other way to put it.
So true, Bob. Definitely it slipped out of his hands. As we see on the replay, nobody touched him. It just slipped.
And you can see it. It was a dying quail with absolutely no spin. As we slow it down, you can see it clearly. Sheehan makes the catch, and good thing we don't have tearaway jerseys if you're a Hawk fan, because otherwise Sheehan could have been gone. Emmanuel had to make the tackle. He, of course, the intended receiver. That will do it. Third quarter on the Sheehan takeaway. The second big turnover by the Boxers, the Jackson fumble being the other one en route to the touchdown. Boxers trail it by 12. We're through 3 stanzas, 28-16, Miles.
Yes, so Bob, Brockton's defense is stunned. Brockton's offense is stunned. Like you said, there's still enough time to get back in the game. They can't panic. Just go out there and try and do what they can do and hope for the best.
The other thing you really have to concentrate on, that I'm sure the coaching staff is saying, look, they've made us cough up the football. They caused the takeaway and a bad pass that time. We've got to go out and force the mistake. We've got to make the advantage and win this football game and get momentum back on our side. So if Brockton's going to get back in this game, their defense has to really step up right now. They give up points here, you can pretty much turn out the lights.
So true.
Excellent field position once again inside the 35 at about the 33 for Schlittler, who has 3 touchdown passes on his side of the ledger tonight. Hand off to Benson. The sure-handed speedy one has a lot of room. He's at the 20, forced out of bounds inside the 20. They're going to mark it there, good for the first down. Good 13 yards on that carry by Benson.
Yeah, Benson was running.
Watch on the replay. I just want to interrupt you. Watch the 2 hands on the football till he knows he's past the line. Then he opens it up and swings those arms for the extra acceleration as he goes past Mark Millard.
Yes, what made that play, Bob? Benson picked his hole at the perfect time and took advantage of it.
Tried to stiff arm Alexander, who would have none of that, forcing the ball carrier out of bounds, but not before Benson picks up 13 yards and a big Hawk first down. Here comes Xaverian once again, up by 12. They're in no rush. They'd like to eat some of the clock at this point. Out of the eye. Deletizian Benson. Give it to Benson. He's stacked up. Nice defensive play in there by Jamar Garrison, defensive end.
Yes, Jamar was right in on that play. Excellent tackle.
Maybe a loss of 1 on the play. We'll see. They'll call it no gain. Call it 2nd and 10. Jamar Garrison has a touchdown catch.
Brockton needs the ball back. Really, they can't afford any points here with 10:22 to go.
They also can't afford to even give up a first down for fear of losing some precious time off that clock, trailing by more than 1 score. Second down situation. They're not going to get any cooperation from Schlittler, who's in no hurry. Sheehan in motion, tiptoes along. Flank out to the left. Nice play right there. Great second effort by number 30, Calvin Duncan. Great play by Duncan as he slipped down and then got up, scrambled to his feet, and then shut down the quarterback Schlittler for a loss on the play, back to about the 36-yard line.
Excellent play, Calvin Duncan. As you said, he slipped, but he kept with it, got back up, and was able to wrestle down the quarterback.
Right now we have a timeout signal, or do we? Timeout is going to be called right here by the Brockton Boxers. That's their first stoppage. They'll have 4 more remaining. This is a full timeout with 9:34 to play. 28-16 the score in this one. And Miles, things really started off the wrong way for the Boxers here in the second half of play. A big 73-yard touchdown pass by Giovanni Benson, who later took advantage of a Brockton miscue to march it in from about 15 yards out in a play that he would not be denied. 2 big touchdowns by a speedy man, number 22. 1 through the air, 1 on the ground.
Yes, Bob, it definitely shook Brockton's, the whole team up. That's 70-yard touchdown play early in the second half.
And you're right, too, as you pointed out to the fans at home with your color, that you said that Stevenson is lining people up for the quick pass, and why not? Why take he's tried the downfield passes. Schlittler's had at least 2, if not 3, dropped on over the middle passes, button hooks and slant routes and things. So what he's trying to do is just get the ball in the speedster's hands and then let them do their thing, and it's worked to perfection.
Definitely so, Bob.
Very good coaching change by Charlie Stevenson. His team 10-0 last year, Super Bowl champs, defeating Everett in the Super Bowl. He has designs and trying to get back there once again, shaking off an opening season loss to Waltham. Certainly looking a lot better tonight against the Boxers, but as we both say, there's still plenty of clock up there. 9:34 to go, the lead, 12 points, 2 scores. And there is a concern, Armin Colombo, good shot of him. As the head guy seeing his team trailing by 12 after being up for most of the first half. 3rd down situation, 3rd and long. Trips going on the right side, all the big guys. Benson, Hasselbeck, and here's the big rush, and let's see if that's going to be grounding. No, they don't say grounding. Instead, it's going to be an incomplete forward pass. Also, Sheehan was over there, but a big rush by Brockton that time.
Good defensive pressure on number 6 by 66.
That's Jeff Pike.
Mr. Pike.
Jeff Pike, another lineman who goes both ways offensively and defensively for the Boxers.
I think the quarterback got away with a little grounding there.
I thought he did too. 4th down situation. And let's see. Also, by throwing the ball away with the incompletion, you save another 10 yards. So you're still within striking distance of a 1st down or more, especially with the arm of a guy like Schlittler, who has 3 big scores to his credit. Sheehan will come out with Hasselbeck on the right side this time as they flood the right zone. Handoff goes to Benson on the right side. Benson dangerously close, but knocked out of bounds nicely by McMurtry, and that's going to turn the ball over to the Boxers. Good play defensively by Ellis McMurtry to stop the 1st down.
Very important play by McMurtry to keep him from getting that 1st down.
So they go conservative, but how conservative are you when you have a guy like Benson that you get another look at? Watch 21 come into your picture right there and save the 1st down, forcing Benson out of bounds short of the sticks.
Yes, McMurtry put his shoulder and helmet right into the ball carrier and put him right outside the outside markers there.
So back on offense goes Boatwright. And a couple last words of encouragement for the senior quarterback. If it's going to happen, it better happen soon.
Yes, Brockton needs to march down the field very quickly and get a quick score.
Very important that Boatwright keeps the confidence that he's the man with the arm, despite the bad pass on the Sheehan takeaway. Nearly the jump. Handoff Jackson. Jackson tripped in the backfield. And that's Diletizia again. Nice defensive play. We do have a marker. This could be an offside. I think it's going to go against the Hawks. They did drop the flag. The linesman dropping the flag down below. Here's the call, offside against Xaverian. Mark it off 5. It'll be 1st and 5.
The Hawks defense getting a little chancy there. No time to take chances now.
No, but that clock moves relentlessly onward. Approaching 9 minutes to go, and Brockton trails it by 2 touchdowns. The ball marked out to the 20-yard line. They have to march it down 80 yards, and they have to do it kind of hurriedly. Going to keep it on the ground again to Jackson. Jackson spins his way, moves inside Mulvesti, and it's going to be close to the 1st down depending on the spot. Nice spin move that time by Jackson, but more importantly, it also eats up some very valuable time in that clock. Give him the 1st down, move the sticks, 1st down and 10 Brockton.
Give Jackson credit on that play. He kind of tippy-toed his way, spun around, and got the 1st down.
They're going to have to put the ball in the air. You're going to use up too much time on the clock to move 75 yards down the field. McMurtry down this way. Emmanuel up top, and trouble here, and a heavy rush by the Hawks, and they have Boatwright back at the 20-yard line.
Boatwright needs the protection of his offensive line.
Right you are.
Definitely at this time, he needs a little time to get that pass off, and he did not have any time there.
Well, you can see some of the frustration on the face of Boatwright. He had no place to go. Loss of 6 on the play. It's going to bring up, well, they'll give him 5. Call it 2nd down and 15. But again, all the time, the clock is moving on, and we're at 7:50 to go. Now it's 2nd and 15 upcoming after the sack. Brockton did pull up the end around with Hill once before. That one has been shown. A successful card. They need a play right here. Drop back. Again, the Bresch. Stepping up in the pocket. The pass down here just overthrown. Intended receiver was James Jackson, number 20, out of the backfield. Nice idea. The pass just a little bit too high for the junior.
Very good idea, Bob. Unfortunately, like you said, just a little bit, the touch wasn't quite there on that pass.
So we're coming down to crunch time, Miles, because now you've got 3rd and long. And if it turns into 4th down, you're trailing by 2 scores. Do you go for it or not? Well, we'll wait and take it one down at a time. But you have to think in terms of that like a chess game, which a lot of football is. So Boatwright in with a play on 3rd down and 15. After the incompletion, down in the left flat down here to Jackson. Looking to see if Garrison in the ball game. Yeah, he's lined up at the tight end slot. He can peel off that easily. He stays into block, however. Boatwright is in trouble, and he's going down again. And making the tackle this time, number 57, again, Nick Rossini, who has a couple hits to his credit. No place for Boatwright to go. 4th down situation. I think they're going to have to kick at this point.
Give the Hawks defensive line credit again. They put pressure on all 3 of those downs there on Mr. Boatwright. He really didn't have time to do anything.
Boy, how the complexion of this game changes when you're trailing by 3 or you're up 1 touchdown. When you have the luxury where you're up by 12 points, your defense can tee off a little bit. Your defensive coordinator can take a few chances, knowing that if he gets burned once, you still have the lead and you have the football back, barring any onside kick. Here's Boatwright, and he's going to be kicking the ball away, lined up at his 10. He kicks it from about the 13. Short kick this time, heads out of bounds. Yeah, actually, it doesn't head out of bounds, but it doesn't get much lift for Brockton either. And Xaverian not only starts the ball on the Brockton side of the field, they're going to start the ball inside the 35 at about the 34.
Well, I'll tell you, Bob, when you get frustrated, sometimes you lose a little bit of concentration. And as you can see, Eric Boatwright lost a little concentration on his form of punting there.
Good point right there, Miles. You have to keep your head in the ball game, especially when you're playing a couple different acting roles. And that time, that one just got away from number 16. So now Schlittler and the offense come onto the field. They have the clock and the lead on their side. 6:29 to go in this one. Sheehan is flanked out, but don't look for anything tricky here. Here's Giovanni Benson on a pitch. Trying to turn the corner right side. I thought I saw a block in the back. No call. Still on his feet. Benson could take it in. Finally forced out of bounds at about the 2-yard line. Maybe the 1. Thought I saw a block in the back. I don't know if we have this one again, but there is no call.
That was an excellent run by Benson.
Gonna look right here. Watch Benson. Boy, this kid is really something to watch. Let's see. I thought right there was the block in the back with no call, but you can suit yourself. And unfortunately, it was just enough. I think it was Garrison. I don't know if that was Garrison or not, getting shoved in the back. Just enough interference to let Benson turn the corner. Once he turns the corner, look at the giant strides. He's going to be knocked out at the 1-yard line or so, and that is Garrison right there. So it wasn't Garrison getting pushed down.
Excellent job by Benson to put on the brakes as he just turned the corner and headed upfield. Put on the brakes. The defender couldn't stop, and basically he shot upfield for another 15, 20 yards.
Well, timeout on the field has been called after the Benson run down to the 1-yard line. When play resumes, it's 1st and goal from the 1 for the Hawks, up by 12 in this one. And this one could be just the icing on the cake as the Hawks look to take it 2 in a row like Barnstable did.
Yeah, right now Brockton is stunned. And
Peter Colombo right there, son of Armin Colombo, and he's not any happier than any of the rest of the people around here, with good reason. shaking his head, a picture of chagrin, and the young assistant coach.
Definitely disappointment on the Brockton sidelines.
Of course, Peter Colombo with an outstanding career here for some outstanding Brockton football teams. Now as assistant coach under his dad. Brockton cheerleaders would like to have a little bit more to cheerlead than they've had here in the second half of play that really hasn't gone the way of the home cooking we were hoping for here in Marciano tonight. But you have to credit Charlie Stevenson and his Hawks because they really seized the momentum of this game. Their offense got in gear in the second half after Brockton really shut them down in the whole first half of play. And they used the quick hits, with a quick passing play. They used the spotlight on Giovanni Benson, who's had just an outstanding second half of play, to be the spark plug. After the timeout, here's the 1st and goal from the 1. Handoff, and the touchdown. And who more deserving than Giovanni Benson to plug in 6 more points for the Hawks to make it 34-16.
Yes, again, Bob, give Charlie Stevenson, the coach for the Hawks, adjusting at halftime, telling his players what they have to do. Here we go on the replay. Number 22, Benson.
Nothing fancy about that.
Straight up the middle, power football.
And some congratulations in order, too, while we may. Some outstanding blocking that time. The right side of the line, Derek Anderson for the Hawks, number 62. Lance St. Jean, who I believe his dad certainly played for the Patriots a few years ago. He wears number 60. Chris Vasta, the center. Greg Latta, 63, left guard, left tackle. Neil Fitzpatrick doing a fine job in the trenches. This kick is not going to be good. Tully's kick try for the extra point, just about the only thing he hasn't done right tonight. 34-16 with 6:11 to play. And Giovanni Benson taking it almost in, finally dots the I by taking it in from 1 yard out to give the Hawks the lead that you see. And Brockton in danger of going 1-2 on the young season. And I'll tell you, Miles, I hope you have better luck next week with Brian, because I'm not the answer. I don't know.
I'm standing up here stunned just like everybody else in this stadium.
Yeah, well,
what a turnaround.
Well, it really was. But, you're looking at a talented football team on the other side, too. And you don't go 10-0 one year and fall flat in your face the next. There's a fine football tradition.
Very good point,
over
Bob.
there in Westwood, and the kids from Xaverian know that there's 2 halves to every football game, and they certainly won this one. And Brockton has to regroup now because it doesn't get any easier when you go on the road and play a very rejuvenated St. John's football team that really got their doors blown off last year in the game of Boatwright's career. And they want to get back at him and the Boxers to try to even up the score. That game next week on the road. And, of course, Miles Jackson and Brian Madden will have it for you. We'll be back on again the following week on the road as we take our act out to Fitchburg, but more details about that will ensue. Back to the action on the Tully kickoff. This is Hill trying to escape an ankle tackle, does not do so, and he's knocked down at the 20-yard line. So what has been consistent tonight, I must say, has been the outstanding special teams play, especially on the kickoffs of the Hawks.
Excellent point, Bob. As I was ready to say, that you got to give an A for effort for the special teams tonight. They have held the Brockton receivers in check, punt returners in check all night.
And you got some good speed back there, too, in the likes of Hill and Alexander. They just have been bottled up with some outstanding penetration by the special teams, and that's just excellent football play when you can hold the people down there. So from the 20-yard line, Boatwright and company come back for another shot on offense. They trail it now, however, by a score of 34-16. Boatwright will look to put it up here. Over the middle, almost intercepted by Nate Hasselbeck, and incomplete pass intended for Ellis McMurtry. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, it looks like McMurtry, as he was trying to cut across on the slant pattern, he was kind of a lot of traffic, and he wasn't able to get to the point where the ball was.
And again, Miles and I certainly invite your comments about the game, the coverage. We hope, despite the score, that you've enjoyed the coverage. I certainly have up here, as far as the outstanding pictures that we've talked about tonight, not to beat a dead horse, but these are your neighbors, folks. These aren't highly paid people, who do stuff for NBC and CBS and all those minor networks. These are people that put it on for BCA, and we think they do a fine job. So they're your neighbors, and tell them thank you when you see them this week. McMurtry, I should say, Boatwright again. Nice pass and a great catch That's a great catch by McMurtry, who just gets shuttered on that tackle by Hasselbeck. That's a great catch by McMurtry to haul it in knowing he's going to get popped after the catch. Good for the first down. Here it is.
Just beautiful post pattern by McMurtry as he goes to the middle. Excellent concentration to hang on to this ball as he's stuck by the defender.
Man, you know you're going to get popped. You hold on to the ball. Good play by Hasselbeck, and even better one by McMurtry for the first down. Ball out to the 38. 5:33 in the clock, 1st and 10 for the Boxers. Here comes the rush. Nice block for the moment. Trouble here, Boatwright's out of bounds. Nearly the late hit, no call. And the loss on the play, about 5 or 6 yards, will bring up a 2nd down and long.
Got to give the defensive backs for the Hawks credit this evening. They have really basically kept the receivers in check, staying with their men all through the play.
That's a good point, too, because Boatwright, running for his life, had no place to go except eat the football and march out of bounds.
And he had time there to throw.
Good news about this is that when you're a tired athlete, you don't have far to go to find Armand Colombo when you're knocked out of bounds right about at his feet. So McMurtry right there, I should say Boatwright right there, starting to lose it. Boatwright right there to talk to Armand Colombo on a 2nd down situation. It's about 2nd and 14 right here for the Boxers. Split the backfield, you know what's happening. They go up top again. A lot of time this time, and a long pass into double coverage is going to be broken up. Intended receiver down there is Emmanuel, and Giovanni Benson and Hasselbeck back for the Hawks. Benson with the deflection to break up the pass.
Excellent defensive play by Benson as he has speed to stay with McMurtry.
It was actually Emmanuel, the fresher legs, number 88.
Oh, okay.
They sent him on the deep pattern that time. Patrick Emmanuel, and he's a junior. Where's number 88? 5'9", 165-pound speedster.
Looked like he had a step on the defenders.
Yeah, that pass was really aired out, and some good time afforded the quarterback that time as Boatwright had a chance to launch it. Good blocking by the offensive line. Pass just a little bit off, but throwing into double coverage into the likes of Hasselbeck and Benson is no easy task to begin with. 3rd down, about 14. Boatwright on a delayed handoff. Slowed up as Jackson for the moment. Still spinning loose, still on his feet. Good 2nd and 3rd effort by number 20, but the junior short of the first down. Undoubtedly, Armand Colombo will go right here. Ball marked down at the 43. He has to get out to about the 48. Call it 4th and 5.
It was nice to see Jackson didn't give up on that play. He kept his feet up and kept moving, as you see on the instant replay here.
Here's a gutty run. And you're right down there with Jackson, struggling for a couple more yards, a couple more feet before being tackled. Well, here's the 4th down play right here. Clock runs with 4.5 to go. Brockton trailing by 18. And Xaverian's going to bring him on this one. Now they back off. Throwing over the middle, way overthrown. This time pass intended for McMurtry, and that'll turn the ball over on downs. Sheehan back there as a center fielder, making sure the pass could not be completed. And Xaverian has held on downs, and they will take over the football.
That was definitely a bad pass by Boatwright. He is totally disgusted as he takes his helmet off as he heads to the sideline. It's been a long night for Mr. Boatwright.
Yeah, it has been a frustrating one nonetheless, and I'll tell you, Xaverian, as much as we talked about the explosiveness of their offense, their defense came to play ball, and they exploited themselves here in the 2nd half. So offensively right now, the game plan is just to use the clock. Hand the ball to Benson, no better way to do that. And Benson's got a first down and a lot more. Left side, tries to turn the corner, and Alexander's speed equal to the task forces number 22 out of bounds, but not before he breaks it down, I believe, inside the 20-yard line of Brockton. Good for a big first down to about the 15, 16-yard line for number 22.
That was an interesting play because the Brockton defenders were more on the left side than the right side. It was wide open for that running back to go all the way, just about go all the way.
Well, Giovanni Benson was really showcased here in the 2nd half of play, and he's been spectacular. Close to the 15, 1st and 10 for Schlittler in the offense. Why not? Give it to Benson one more time. Sheds one tackle and drags a few more as he's got 5 more yards down to the 10-yard line and keeping that clock moving. So we're now under 4 minutes to play.
Boy, this guy's getting stronger as the game goes on.
He just wants to play all night. Tell you can tell by the walk back to the huddle. He's just
walking tall.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best way to put it. Walking tall is no lie. He's had a great game. So Brockton will go on the road 1-2, and Xaverian will even its record 1-1. We want to thank you fans for being with us for the BCA Game of the Week, Brockton Cable Access, Community Access, sorry. Benson en route to the touchdown, and he's there once again. His 4th touchdown here in the second half, 3 on the ground, 1 in the air for the guy who's the star of the night right there, number 22, Giovanni Benson.
Yes, Giovanni had a big open hole right up the middle, as you can see on the replay here. And Mr. Benson.
Boy, I tell you, it doesn't take him long to get right in your kitchen. 2-3 steps and sayonara right there. And that's
I think he was just touched on the shoulder pads.
That's about all. I don't think they mussed anything up on his uniform. But that's because of speed and some good downfield blocking.
Give that offensive line credit, Bob.
No, absolutely. They have played well. We gave him credit a few moments ago. 40-16, Tully hits the upright. So his extra point try is no good, and it's 40-16. And I'll tell you something, we had 17 points between these two teams in the first half, and we're looking at 56 points up on the board right now. The bad news for the Brockton Boxers, of course, is that most of those points went to the guys in white, and hence the margin of a big 24 points. But the Boxers will regroup and stick with them, folks, because they will be back, rebuilding in some ways, hurt by graduation a few other ways. Every coach goes through this, and every team has to rebound, and it's too proud a tradition to give up on a team like this, because they will be back this year.
Yes, Coach Colombo just needs to talk to his young men that it's still early in the season, and they have a long way to go, and they can still turn this season around to be a great positive season.
And they will. 2 of the exciting ones are right there. Left of your screen is Hill, the right of your screen, Alexander. And Tully has worn out the 40-yard line here in the second half with his kickoffs. But he'll do it again. Number 31. Nice high kick this time. And both come together. This will be Hill from the 10. Tries to take it outside, avoids one tackle, and just is knocked out of bounds. Loses the football. And did he throw the football? We have flags going up all over the place. We'll wait for the official to tell us what the call is going to be. He'll try to get outside.
Might get a late hit here.
Didn't know possibly a face mask. There's all kinds of bodies flipping around, and the Brockton sideline, the coach is all excited, so this may go against Xaverian. Take another look. Let's see if we can find it out as the official's still talking. They're marking it off against Xaverian, so it must be on the hit. Take a look. Right there's the face mask. I had a feeling. Turn the head all the way around. This will be the 15-yard variety, no question about it. And they're going to mark it down to the 50-yard line where Brockton will go on offense. No question. A good look at our replay right there. That, folks, is an intentional face mask. Whenever you rip the guy's head around, that's the 15-yard. That's not the garden variety. That's the big mama right there. Mark it to the 49, just inside Hawk Real Estate. 3:03 to go. And Boatwright trods out once again as the quarterback. Millard and Jackson behind him have gone all the way as well. Glover comes in, avoids the rush. McMurtry on the reception. They'll keep the clock going. McMurtry hits the turf after a gain of about 7 or 8.
Boy, Boatwright really zipped that ball in there. Good pass by Boatwright.
Gunther on the rush. Kent Gunther, number 6.
Good rollout also.
Yeah, it was a real good rollout. Nice pass that time, and it found his man McMurtry. But a second down situation, the clock moving on, 2.5 to go. It's elementary at this point, academic as they say. right now you just want to try to hook it up and get ready for the next game, get a little momentum going into that contest against St. John's next week. Here comes Jackson. Tries to get outside, reversing. Nice move inside to get the first down. Where the forward progress will be marked, we'll give him a first down. That should be a first down for the Boxers. Nice move by Jackson, squibbing his way in and out of white-shirted tacklers.
Excellent pursuit by number 24. Here we go on a replay. As you can see, number 24 will come up and
watch Jackson's going to reverse his field here a little bit. But watch as he pokes ahead, coming off the tackle right there. He's got the first down. Now he's driven back. But forward progress is always given to the runner. However, I thought he had a little more forward progress than that. Apparently not. And boy, that's a close measurement. I really think...
Gee, that was a tough placement on the football there.
I think a very tough placement. He had the first down.
Like you said, excellent the way that Jackson shed the tackles there. I was able to spin around and go for that first down.
Well, we're short this time by about 2 chain links. And 3rd and inches will be the call. And I concur with you. I think Jackson definitely had the forward progress, which was denied him by the placement of that football. But on a 3rd down with 2 more tries, let's see, Brockton should have no trouble getting it. But they're thinking more than inches, of course, at this point. Pass is going to be complete, and Garrison has another catch, and ball stripped away, but the whistle marks the ball down. No fumble on the play. Good for the first down. They'll mark it down at about the inside the 40. Mark it down at the 35-yard line. Nice pass play that time. Garrison on the first down. There he is, number 85.
Good hands by Garrison.
3rd catch of the night. All 3 of them were good hands. One, the easiest one of all, for the touchdown, he nearly dropped. The other 2 were fine catches, including this one. But it's his 3rd reception of the night, as Boatwright spreads around the receptions a little bit. Back to pass and a straight drop. Down the middle, this one nearly on the deflection and double coverage. Came loose to McMurtry, but falls incomplete just behind him.
That was very unfortunate on Boatwright's part because his man McMurtry was behind the defenders, and if he could have got that ball a little bit more up,
right,
I think it would have been in for a score.
Not as long a tete-a-tete this time with the game seemingly decided. And Boatwright will go back in the huddle. 1:15 is all that's left here in the 4th quarter as many fans starting to head out. It's wild and woolly second half that fell to the Hawks on their side of the line. And Brockton never recovered tonight. Boatwright, the pass complete. Nice catch down there by McMurtry. That'll be good for a first down. Nice pass by Eric and a good catch by Ellis.
Yeah, Brockton, it would be nice for Brockton to score on here. They really need something positive to leave this field.
1 minute and under. Yeah, you're exactly right. And that's what the coaching staff is hoping for right now. They're not putting the scrubs in. They're simply trying, and here's a stoppage of play just down in the football so that Boatwright can go over and have a word with his coach. 51 seconds to go. It'll be 2nd and 10 when play resumes. Well, Miles, my thanks again to you for another job well done. Dave Clifton taking sick tonight, and I tell you, I talked to him just before game time, about an hour and a half before, and he was sick as a dog. And it's rare for him to miss a football game. He and I have done probably 400 or so together. So my thanks for you for filling in.
No problem, Bob.
It was a lot of fun. Looking right, throwing left, pass complete to McMurtry. Inside the 10. We'll mark it down at about the 7. Clock moves on. It's not a first down. That's why they don't have to set the sticks. 3rd down, play inside the 10. See if Brockton can get it in from here. Back goes the quarterback. Pass complete. McMurtry sees the goal line, and he has the goal line. Touchdown, Brockton. McMurtry's 3rd consecutive catch in a row from quarterback Boatwright nets the 6 points. And that'll at least give them some solace in a losing effort tonight. Touchdown McMurtry right there.
Well, it looks like Brockton took a page book out of the Hawks offense where they kind of did it quickly.
I'm watching McMurtry coming off the field. He looks a little shaken up. He is shaken up. He goes down to one knee over on the sideline. There you see him. Our camera right on top of it. I'm looking from the other side with the glasses, and they're right on top. As McMurtry gets the touchdown, he's in some pain, now back on his feet. And Puja for the point after touchdown. The hold by Thompson, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Puja with a nice foot. This kid only a junior. 30-yard field goal tonight and looking good on his extra points. 40-23 the score. And that might just about be it. 63 points we had. We had 17 at halftime, 46 here in the second half of play. I know I made the comment early in the game that surprisingly, with two excellent throwing quarterbacks, that we have a game as low scoring as we had. Well, things took care of themselves in the second half. And there's our full moon that kind of decided things tonight. And you had a few different full moons. Take your pick. Think they're playing golf up there tonight? I don't know. Maybe that's only the Ryder Cup. That's the only place it's going on, huh? No dune buggies flipping around up there?
None whatsoever.
Okay. You're sure of that? 22 ticks, all that's left. Brockton touchdown, good to Ellis McMurtry from Eric Boatwright. Good for about 7 yards unofficially on the touchdown if you're scoring at home. And Puja from a Thompson hold, good on the extra point. So we're going to wrap it up pretty quickly here tonight as daylight is fast approaching. Again, while we have a second, we want to thank our fine crew, and yes, I do want to do it one more time. Producer Mark Lindy, director in the truck Steve Roy, Lori Barris on replay and computer graphics, Greg Oxford also on replay. Had some great replays tonight too, incidentally. Mark Lindy on audio, Walt Sawyer, the camera guy. You see, now we have a flag as the ball heads out of bounds. That's all you missed. Walt Sawyer on camera 1, camera 2 Ed Gleason, 3 was Danny Driscoll. Mike Melanson, a hand help, also the camera grip, and Miles Jackson doing a fine job on the color, and also myself, Bob Sondheim. Happy to be with you once again to call the action for you in tonight's ball game. The Brockton Boxers on the short end of a 40-23 count to the Xaverian Hawks. And our congratulations to Charlie Stevenson and the Hawks, and also to Armin Colombo. His team will be back, believe me. So stick with them, folks, because the Brockton Boxers look to take on a very tough St. John's prep squad. And again, that kickoff time next week, that'll be a Saturday game, October 2nd, and that'll be a 1:30 kickoff up there in Danvers, 1:30 for the St. John's Brockton game, October 2nd. Let's get up there and help support the kids and get them back on the winning way as they look to go 500 on the season. That's going to do it right there, 18-17. The teams can pretty much celebrate at this point. No one's going to step in to call a timeout. Clock continues to run as we're under 10. And Miles Jackson, any final comments as we're going to do a quick sign-off right here?
Well, Bob, got to give the Hawks credit for coming back in the second half and adjusting well. And again, it was a pleasure working with you.
Well, thank you very much. As always, good job filling in. You thought you were doing camera tonight. Little did you know, as you came in the parking lot, that you'd be talking more than shooting. That's going to do it for us. And again, the final score, 40-23. On behalf of the entire BCA crew, Miles Jackson, myself, Bob Sondheim, and a special thanks also to Tom Pileski, the AD up here, for his help and cooperation. That'll do it for us, and we hope to join you again soon. That will be next week. See us on tape delay, but let's get up and support the Brockton Boxers as they take on the St. John's Prep. That will be a 1:30 kickoff October 2nd. Until we see you, thanks for joining us, and good evening, everybody.